Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Hey, here we are! Kool-Aid Monday. Look at that, Kool-Aid Monday.
The Browns. What flavor Kool-Aid are we rocking
Man,
today?
that's that black cherry. Let's go.
Is that what that is?
That's that black cherry.
But no sugar added, so it's not drinkable, right?
No, I would not drink
just
that.
the Kool-Aid
It
packet.
is just, listen, it is just the Kool-Aid.
Which is awful.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? When the last time you had a glass of Kool-Aid?
Probably on this show. I think we all had one on this show once with you.
But
I was going to say 1984.
When I was a kid,
84?
though, I decided, I'm going to make some Kool-Aid. You know, that was like kind of a treat at my crib. So I opened the packet and I put it in. I filled it up with water, and I thought that's all it took. I was about 6, 7 years old. No one was around. I'm like, I'm going to make some Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I took a drink of it.
And he was like, I'm off this Kool-Aid
like,
stuff. What is the rave with
What
this?
happened to Kool-Aid?
Well, this is not
They
it.
ruined Kool-Aid.
bro.
What I didn't realize, it takes like about 18 cups of sugar to make it taste okay.
Who would have known I was pre-diabetic at 6?
Because of Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, right?
That'll do it to you. Wow. Let's just dive right in. Mike, I know you got to read to do off top. We'll do our shotgun reactions, but holy cow. What did I just watch?
It was an incredible weekend and our first Victory Monday of the season, guys.
Yes,
we got
sir.
a jam-packed show.
Yeah.
Not
Yup.
just the Browns. We will get to plenty of Guardian stuff as well. But we're going to start with our shotgun reactions after a word from FanDuel. Guys, the NFL season is here. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5, and if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Shotgun reactions starting with Bull. How about this weekend?
It's unbelievable. I was just saying before the show, you look at the Browns season so far, first 3 games, you had 2 of the all-time worst offensive performances by the Bengals in week 1, by the Browns in week 3. And both those teams won. How did that happen? I texted these guys all at 10-0. I said, the game's over. The Browns cannot move the ball. In fact, the 38-yard run by Quinshon Judkins on the second play of the second-to-last drive, where the Browns finally ended up getting on the board with a field goal, he had a 38-yard run on that second play. That one play was longer than any Browns drive to that point. Their longest drive had been 37 yards to that point, and that ended with an interception. They were completely inept on offense, but the defense was off the chain. I don't know if kids are saying that anymore, but I'm bringing it back because the Browns defense was absolutely phenomenal across the board. Schlesinger, Graham, the rookies contributing big time. And what happened, Miles Garrett took up the cover. They were triple teaming him, and guys made plays, something we haven't seen in past years. The offense is absolute trash outside of Quinshon Judkins, but the defense, and let's give credit to the special teams, were phenomenal. Plus, the Guardians lost yesterday, but they're very much in the hunt, still alive for the playoffs. I'm shotgun reacting to that too. They might win this division. In fact, I'm completely jumping on the bandwagon after being off the bandwagon for 3 months. And they're going to win the division. They're going to take 2 out of 3 for the Tigers. They're going to be tied. They'll have the tiebreaker, and they'll end up winning the division. Unbelievable. I'm watching at a bar mitzvah party on Saturday. I'm watching the Guardians on my phone. Let's go. Jason.
Andre Schmidt and I are prepared to accept all of your apologies.
I said keep them too.
All of your. No, you did
No,
not.
you didn't.
You
Wind it
did
back.
not.
No, you
full of crap.
didn't. You said you would cut him immediately.
All of you
Wind it
said
back.
cut him.
Yeah.
I will find the
Wind
clip.
it back.
Go find it.
1,000% said cut
Wind
him.
it back.
I want that clip
Yeah.
by 1
We're
p.m.
going to find it.
Yep.
Wind it back.
I was the only one who said keep
I
him.
might actually be able to find it.
I specifically said on my
Remember
podcast
I
yesterday.
said the heart and the head?
Yeah.
and the heart said cut him,
Hey,
but the head said keep him.
This is.
I said on my
crazy.
podcast yesterday that Jason's going to be so annoying with this Andre Schmidt
No,
thing.
I'm really not. I'm really not.
And Jedrick Will says hi.
I will say that I wanted to be a fly on the wall at your house and in the press box when he was coming out to kick the long field goal. You're all in on him making it.
Yeah.
You're all in on him missing it.
I wanted him to make it because I wanted the Browns to win, but I actually, when he kicked the extra point to tie the game, I was more nervous for that.
I was holding my breath.
I was more nervous for that. I'm like, he's going to miss this extra point.
And you know, they said, I think right before the kick, they go, they're an extra point away from tying it.
Yes.
Like, that's it.
I specifically referenced that on my podcast. I said, "Oh no, why'd they say that?"
Yeah.
But yes, I actually felt like he might make it once he made that extra point. But go ahead.
The extra point, I was sweating. I was in the press box, told the person next to me, like, oh my God, he better make
55-yarder, I thought,
better
he's got this. Of course he's going to make it.
I mean, Andre Schmidt's got a great story. I mean, great isn't great for a storyteller to tell.
Oh, the ups and downs.
Yeah, heartbreaking summer for him. Lost his mom to a brain aneurysm. I think that's come out. I think we kind of knew that before, but it really came out over the weekend and yesterday. Just a great story. Now, I mean, listen, you're only as good as your last kick. He's got to keep going now, but certainly a huge confidence booster for him. Just a goofy game. I was talking to Tyvis at halftime. I think my favorite part of game day is actually halftime with Tyvis because he goes through every stage of grief in those 7 minutes
already.
Of talking.
Even though the game's
already.
not over.
And he's told me a couple times, like, they ain't going to get to 8 wins, are they, Jay? I'm like, no, Ty. We tried telling you they're not going to get to 8 wins. But just talking to him yesterday in the press box, and I said, this defense is going to win this team games. It's not going to be today, but this defense is going to win this team games. And by God, it did turn out to be yesterday. Grant Delpit with a great play. When Tyvis is in, I want him to break down that play that Delpit made. Because even Matt LaFleur referenced it. It was a great look where they disguised the coverage. Jordan Love threw it right to him. It changed the entire game. Obviously, the block kick was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, to go 50.
What was Love think? I mean, I know he didn't see him.
He just didn't see him. That's
but
it.
my God, live to see another day. Throw it away and punt.
There's no way the Browns win that game without that interception.
The Packers?
No, absolutely not.
The Packers said, I think it was LaFleur, said yesterday after the game, we knew we couldn't just make the one big mistake, and that's exactly what we did.
It was stunning.
Yeah, they
had
it wrapped. But, I mean, good on them, good on the Browns. It was a great win for them at a time they really, really, really needed it because today was going to be ugly otherwise. But good on them. Just unbelievable to look as bad as they looked for 56 minutes and to win that game against a team that could go to the Super Bowl. It felt a lot like the 49ers a couple years ago winning with P.J. Walker when the Niners came in here and missed a kick at the end for the Browns to win. Yesterday had a very similar feeling. Being in the press box had a very similar feeling to that Niners game.
We get one of these a year, and we get this thing where we are reminded just how great Miles Garrett is, right? And I'm going to not just give him credit. I'm going to give him credit for instilling a level of we don't care what nothing happens on this side of the football. When they getting guys together on that sideline, watch them get guys together on that sideline. I've been in places where you're hamstrung a little bit. Your hands is tied behind your back. And guess what? You go to your people and you say, listen, we're going to stick together. We're going to hang together. We're going to make plays. Even if they can't score no points, we'll score the points. Let us do it. And the crazy part about it is, Bull is right. He was getting triple teamed. But for the first time in my life, I actually feel like he had 3 or 4 other people with him that said, oh, no. Take it all, load off, big dog. We got you too. Man, I'm beyond. Listen, Carson Schlesinger. Hey, listen, Carson Matthews. That's what I'm going to call you. Carson Matthews is out here moving around, bro. 10, 12 tackles again, another sack, tackles for loss. And by the way, who would have known that the Browns, even a couple of years ago, they would get gashed on little runs. And you know what I noticed in this game? When Matt LaFleur thought he was slick. Remember when they had an opportunity, they tried to run the clock out, and they needed to run the football. You know what he pulled out? He pulled out the 2023 package that really gashed the Browns each and every time. Those jet motions, those jet sweeps, they brought 2 of them in a row. He said, I'm keeping this in my back pocket because I know that they struggled in this. And guess what? Greg Newsome comes up and makes a play. They string it to the sideline. Guys are running around. Malik Collins. Man, bro, tell me why you want to be first team all AFC North last week. Like, I know that's a made-up award, but you in the backfield. Like, you in the back. Get your name in the paper, dog. Mason Graham was in the backfield just running around. He's starting to figure it out. He's starting to figure it out. What I'm
took
saying,
him half.
It took him one drive of his NFL career to figure it out.
Yeah,
it's different levels because now he's starting to figure out, hey, we don't move side to side here. We move straight forward. He said, that's all I got to do. All I got to do is run straight. Oh, I could do that. Beat the guard. That was beautiful. Grant Delpit backed it up, all this talk. He not only said it's easy to tackle Derrick Henry, guess what? He said it was easy to tackle Josh Jacobs. I thought Jacobs was going to come out here and go crazy. None of the above. And let's talk about this. We forget, it was so many big plays that were made. Denzel Ward put the cape on.
Yeah.
What a layout to block a kick.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, that's Shelby.
They gave it to Shelby, but Ward missed it. Barely, and they gave it to Shelby, but I'm not sure that Ward didn't deflect it.
When you land, that's a starter.
Oh, he was
like he's a starter on special teams. They go out, they get the block punt. Think about what they had to have happen. They not only had to have the interception, but Grant Delpit needed to get up and get it close as possible because we couldn't get no yards.
Nothing.
They blocked the kick, and then listen. Well, Flacco, it's a day for talking about that, but he did complete the 7-yard pass to David Njoku. And I was my throat was just, I was dry. I couldn't breathe. I thought that they was gonna throw that ball short of the sticks and they was gonna tackle him, and they got to spike the ball with 2 seconds left.
And what was funny is on the broadcast they were like, well, 12 seconds. I don't know if you weren't watching on the broadcast.
I was.
They were like, well, the 12 seconds is not enough time to throw it in the middle of the field, and they were very quick at getting up.
It's clear that they've practiced that.
Yes,
a
that was
million
well
times.
done.
But one thing I was going to save this for later. Do you guys remember the Cowboys? Niners game a couple years ago in the playoffs where Dak scrambles, slides, hands it to the center, they spot the ball, and the umpire has to touch the ball.
Yeah.
And the umpire moved the ball
and that slowed
a
it
yard,
down.
and it cost them the game.
Yes.
Yesterday, if you look, I'm actually surprised the umpire let this go. So Njoku completes the pass, and he hands it to Pochik, and I don't understand why you don't give it to the umpire, but he hands it to the center. Pochik puts the ball down. Go back and watch it. The umpire sprints up and just touches the ball.
He has to.
I know. But he didn't move it.
No,
if he
no,
moves
No. I mean, the umpire on the run touched the ball.
Yes.
The umpire didn't even stop.
But he basically allowed the Browns to mark the ball.
That
mark
was
the spot.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
It's outside of protocol, but I'm wondering in that situation because it was so close and
He just ran up, touched the ball, okay, go. Whereas you go back to the Cowboys game, the umpire moved the ball back a yard.
Had to put it
The
down
umpire
himself.
came from like 20 yards back
Yeah.
and moved the ball back. Had they done that yesterday, they probably don't
And
get
by
the
the way,
snap off.
these umpires and line judges and everything, they're not quick like NFL players are quick.
No.
And they get there on their time. And if they happen to get there when the clock hits 0, we're sorry, but it didn't work.
And if the game goes to overtime, again, there's decent. The Browns couldn't move the ball really, so there was a decent chance they would have lost in overtime. But
I was surprised.
amazing.
I was surprised that the umpire did not respot the ball at all.
Well,
all he did was
news
run
for the
up
Browns.
and touch it, which allowed them to get that.
I'll
snap
take
off.
it.
By the
I'll
way,
take
maybe there was an angle he saw, but Stefanski was going nuts on that play he thought was a fumble. Like there was no angle that showed the Browns definitely had the ball.
I think he just wanted to take a chance on it.
No, but he was so adamant about it. I was like, did he see something we didn't? Because it was clear you couldn't tell who had the ball clearly.
This is also, and I'll finish with this. Just, I love the fact that the Browns didn't be the Browns. In that case, we was doing a postgame show, and he punches the ball out, right?
Yeah.
And so, as a defense, you thinking that's the only way we got a chance to actually do something. And it wasn't deflating. They came back the very next play, sold out, and got what they needed to get. So, hey, give them credit, man. Them dudes, it's hard as heck to win football games. They didn't give up. They had everything. They needed everything to go right. It did. And you get a win 13-10 against the team any given Sunday, Jay.
Yeah,
and it reminds me of the 49ers game of a couple years prior to that.
So I know you guys both mentioned the 49ers game. For me, there's a lot of synergy in this with the Jets and the old Browns and the dog pound. Yesterday they had the 40th celebration of the dog pound, and a lot of the old ghosts were in the stadium.
85 team.
And to me, you say we get one of these every year. I I don't remember feeling like this. I'll tell you exactly what it goes back to. The 1986 season, the Browns were down 10 points with 3.5 minutes to go. Same scenario. It was 20-10. They hadn't moved the ball. They scored 10 points in 3.5 minutes to get it to overtime. And they kicked the game-winning field goal in overtime to get the Broncos the next week, which they lost, of course, in the drive. But I haven't felt like that as a Browns fan since that Sunday. That's how long it's been for me, because this was a clear defeat. They snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat. They did it with a 1-yard touchdown drive and an 11-yard field goal drive. We talked in the opener about how Baltimore had so few points with so many points with so few yards. No, that was the Bengals game, I think. Then the Ravens did the same thing. The Ravens scored 41 points on 240 yards. They did nothing all day. The Browns' offense was an F yesterday. I think
outside of Judkins, yes.
Judkins was the bright spot.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm giving a team grade for
F,
the offense,
100%.
it's an F.
Yeah.
The offensive line, I don't even know where to begin. I don't. There's too many problems to even dive in on just one position. It's the whole line. We got veterans making really dumb mistakes. You've got guys that are switching all over the place, and I get the injuries and all of that, but from a pure offensive standpoint, I can't give this team anything other than an F. Judkins gets the asterisk. Judkins is amazing to me. They had a 1-yard touchdown drive and an 11-yard field goal drive. Those drives, guys, combined for 28 seconds of clock.
That's crazy.
They scored 10 points with 28 seconds of offensive clock in the last 3.5 minutes of the game. I also, it was so bizarre because the Jets, again, come up to me. This game felt like what the Jets must have felt like when Joe Flacco led them to victory at Cleveland Stadium 3 years ago. I believe it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I thought about that.
That game, to me, was the most deflating, gut punch. What in the actual F did I just see? Because there's a string of things that have to happen, and they all have to happen perfectly. And you hate to point out Nick Chubb taking a knee, but that's what started all of it. Or not taking a knee, rather. He went in and scored the touchdown. They get the ball back. They win. At that point, if you make a list of what has to happen, you're like, okay, the odds of that happening are 9%. The odds of this happening are 1%. The odds of this happening are, to me, the interception was the onside kick in the Jets game. You're not going to get that interception because nobody's going to throw an interception in that spot.
Until that interception, was there ever a moment?
No.
You thought the Browns were going to win?
Never.
Never.
It was a defeat from jump.
Yeah.
And now, if the offense was an F, and they were, the defense was an A. The defense. Think what the defense has done, guys. They slowed Joe Burrow. They slowed Lamar Jackson. They slowed Jordan Love, who right now, I was stunned by this. They put the numbers up to compare his first whatever games to Aaron Rodgers. I think it was 30 games or whatever.
Yep.
The numbers were almost identical. This guy has really come into his own. Through 2 weeks, to me, they look like a Super Bowl contending team. They looked unstoppable on defense, and their offense looked very, very efficient. Mm-hmm. And so it was like the Jets game a couple of years ago when you said, oh, this one's in the bag because this has to happen. If you add up the odds of all of those things happening, it's 0.0005%. This. And somehow the Browns didn't brown.
They didn't.
They flipped the page. They turned the script. And that, guys, is how you change the culture. Win games that you should lose and hold on to games that you should win. So it's all precipitated by a defense that, guys, I know this is going to sound hyperbolic. To me, this is a top 5 defense, and this might be a top 3 defense. It could possibly end up the season if everybody stays healthy and the offense keeps them in games, because that's I think is a big part of this. This is as good a Browns defense as I can remember seeing, and it's 3 games. I know it's early, but when you look at what the back end is doing, what the linebacking core with Schlesinger in there now, it's a total different ball game. And up front, I said this earlier in the season, as it was one of my bold takes coming into the season. It's going to be the best defensive line we've seen with Miles Garrett. And I think so far, through 3 games, it has been across the board the best defensive line that we've seen. It's stunning, to be honest with you.
And shout out to Tyvis, who told us Malik Collins was going to be a very good signing because he played awesome against Green Bay yesterday. Let's dive into some of the X's and O's, the minutia of the win yesterday. The first dive is brought to us by Mazda, who continues to move the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, guys, on the post-game show yesterday, G, myself, and Earl were talking about how this is the kind of game that the Browns historically lose. Since at least I've been following the Browns, this has been the game that they have a lead, they blow it, we come in on Monday and say, how the hell did the Browns end up losing this game? This is the opposite, though.
Well, but they didn't have a lead, Mike.
No, I'm just saying, in general, a game like this has typically been what the Browns lose.
If the
yesterday
Packers,
was the opposite.
The Browns would be the Packers.
Yeah.
Yes,
I see,
was the
I
opposite.
see. Yeah.
We were sitting there saying the Browns were
Yeah,
about to
that's
be
the
0-3.
blueprint. The Packers
Yeah.
yesterday used the Browns' blueprint on how to lose a game they should
Yeah,
win.
right.
Exactly. This was the opposite.
I got you.
How did the Browns win this game? The blocked field goal, getting down, the perfect operation to get the last kickoff, the Delpit bait, all of it. All these little things in the last 4 minutes came together in unison to allow Cleveland to pick up its first win of the season. Jason, when you look back on this particular win, I know not one person deserves necessarily more credit than the other, but what do you remember most about this upset in terms of how it all came together after 56 minutes of miserable offensive football, ending with that game-winning kick from Andre Schmidt?
I mean, the only answer is the defense. Just the way, and Joel said this, Bitonio said this after the game, that as bad as it was at times, you look up at the board and he's like, guys, it's 3-0. It's 10-0. Like, we're right there. We just need a play. We just need one play, and we'll get right back in it. So, boy, I'm with you. When 10-0 felt like 30-0.
Yeah.
But when you're on the sideline and you look up and you're only down 10, the defense kept them in that game. And you know, just a credit to all those guys. You mentioned Malik Collins. I was joking with you guys yesterday. He's out there raw dogging it. He didn't wear pads. He didn't wear gloves. Nothing. Just bare arms and bare hands manhandling people out there. And Schlesinger with the big sack. He's been terrific. Mason Graham's been terrific. Isaiah McGuire's been great. Alex Wright, I think, got it on yesterday.
He
with
did.
the sack.
Yeah.
He did.
Miles is Miles. I mean, he is what he is. He holds the glue to the whole thing. The secondary's been great. Cam was inactive yesterday. Cam Mitchell was inactive. And if the defense, the concern with this team is if the offense doesn't give them more, they're just going to wear down. You can't possibly keep this up when you're getting nothing from the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
But this defense is every bit as good as advertised. Like I said, I told Tyvis that in the press box, this defense is going to win them games. And you just have to get through Baltimore and Green Bay. Like, this is such a front-loaded, nasty start to the season on the schedule. But when it loosens up a little bit and you get to a Miami or some of these other teams, you get to some, like, there are wins out there that this defense will deliver. If the offense,
New England,
just give them 20 points.
Jets.
If you can come up with 20 points, you're going to win 17 points. You're going to win some games this year because of how terrific this defense is. When you look at, I know Baltimore 41 points. We said it at the time. I think that was very misleading. The offense handed them, 21 of those points?
Yeah.
But when you look at how this defense played against the Ravens, when you look at how this defense played yesterday against the Packers, it is legitimate. It is a top 3 defense, maybe top 2 defense. And the difference, when we were talking a couple years ago, 2 years ago, we were talking about the numbers that they were putting up, and they were historic type numbers. If you look at the quarterbacks they were playing, and in hindsight now you can kind of remove the emotion and look back on it, it was Clayton Tune, and it was a bunch of backups. It was Burrow in the rain coming off an injury. This year they've gotten a healthy Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Jordan Love. I mean, imagine starting with those 3 quarterbacks, and they've been able to get off to the start that they have. I think it's absolutely legit. Man,
I think it's like, it's almost like they playing like, listen, y'all disrespected us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still Miles Garrett. I'm still Denzel Ward. What you talking about, man? Like, if you mention the best people in their positions, they like, I'm at the top of the list at these joints, man. And it's tough because when you look at a defense like this and you look at a progressing running game with Judkins, you are now putting yourself in a position where we've seen a path to victories through timely special teams, running the football, and having a lights-out defense. I done seen teams that had no business going to the playoffs doing certain things like that when you got that. All they need, and this just shined on what came down from the heavens. Bro, all you need is average quarterback play.
I don't know if that's possible.
All you need is
Mike,
average. You can sneak up on, you can beat teams with just don't be bad. Or don't turn the football over. You see, they won a game and they couldn't even move the ball none. You know why? There was no pick sixes. There's no strip sacks. There's none of that. When you got
the interception actually helped the Browns.
Like
I was stunned that nobody talked about
play.
it.
They
Why
mentioned
did
that
they,
on the broadcast.
I don't remember hearing
They didn't talk about it for a while, but they mentioned it.
Okay,
briefly.
yeah, because I didn't hear it right afterwards. I'm like, wow, they're celebrating like this is some great accomplishment. That's a good punt.
Yeah, Mike, what was the exact question you asked again? Because I think we've gone away from it.
No, it's fine. We'll make this the defense clip. We'll come back to the other one in a sec. So let's just keep focusing on the defense.
How good is the defense?
The defense is good enough to keep a team like this team right here. If they had just simply average quarterback play, Tyvis is not crazy when you say 8. Like it playing like that's devastating. Like you got to say, put some more names in there. Burrow, check. Chase, check. Higgins, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson. Just keep going. Jordan Love. These is names of names. Go look at the top 100 in the NFL, and these names are littered all across the 100.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't feel like we're going to give you any points. And matter of fact, we takeaways ain't even our thing, boo.
Yeah.
And they got that to win the game.
Unfortunately, Tyvis is still crazy with 8 because the offense is so inept. They're not going to be able to win that many games. It's a shame because this is about as big a gap as you could possibly have between a defense and an offense.
Could be a 1 and a 32.
The Browns could be the best defense in football, and they could be the worst offense in football by the end of the season. The offense is inept is not strong enough to talk about this offense. The defense is phenomenal. Again, it's only 3 weeks, but so far it's looked way better than I thought. A couple of the biggest difference, like Schlesinger looks like a superstar already. How is this guy a walk-on at college?
It's unbelievable.
How did this happen?
I never heard of his name. I never heard of his name before the draft.
I think that stigma carried over into the draft, too. I think a lot of the general managers
like,
and
who is
scouts
this?
are saying, well, he doesn't come from pedigree and stock.
Yeah, I don't know.
And because he had only done it 1 year at UCLA, I think there was still like
he didn't even start. But he didn't start that year.
He was still a high
at the beginning of the year.
But he was still a high second-round pick in the end. So obviously,
yeah. But if teams could go back and do this all over again, I think someone would have taken him before Cleveland got him.
The guy looks like an absolute stud. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
He looks like the next linebacker. Like there's not that many linebackers in the NFL these days that are very impactful, especially unless they're like really pass rushers, which, you know, he's a true linebacker.
And they blitz him.
And he's all over the place.
They let him just do what he wants. I said,
everybody's playing well on the defense. That's something we like. I agree with Jason. Like I thought 2 years ago the defense was a little fraudulent. Not that it was bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like we were talking all-time great. And
I mean, the numbers were what the numbers were.
Yeah, but
it was who they were doing against.
Yes.
Bull. And I think Jay's right. Now that we're separated from the emotion of it, and you go back and look against who they stopped, it's not nearly as impressive in retrospect.
Like next week you're playing another good offense in Detroit. But we'll see what they do tonight. But they put up 50 last week.
Detroit's got a great offense.
and I'm expecting the Browns to hold them to like 17, 20, maybe. I don't know. But you can't win games like this consistently.
No.
The offense has to give you something. They, love Judkins, but outside of tight end and running back, they have nothing on offense. Or I should say, outside of tight end and Judkins, they have almost nothing on offense.
That's all they have.
But, the defense, again, 8, I give everybody. Who played badly on the defense? Nobody.
Devin Bush is crazy now.
He's making plays. Denzel's tackling people at the line.
Some other names, too, real quick, Bull.
What's that?
You mentioned Malik, just other names on the defense that we mentioned yet. Malik Collins was awesome. Aiden Huntington.
Oh, hold on.
He's been
absolutely
awesome.
got to mention him.
We
got a fullback, boys.
No. Listen.
And on defense.
He is,
yeah.
bro.
He's a player.
He is the dude that nobody wants to play in practice. It's Thursday, and he's out there sweating. His gloves is wet. I'm like, why are you sweating this hard? This is walkthrough. He's the dude that is a monster. He's running around. He's quick twitchy. He's running around on kickoff. Listen, this is a steal. They put him in on a goal line. He played fullback too. He running around. Listen, this is a steal, bro. I don't know where the heck he came from. This guy can play.
Yeah, I mean, and Malik Collins and Mason Graham are both like game-changing type of players.
And I never thought I would say that.
You know, I mean, like, Tyvis was right. Malik Collins is a game-changing player.
He is.
And Mason Graham looks really, really good, and he's just getting started. I mean, how good is he going to be later this year and next year and the year after that?
That's why I said, look, this is the crazy thing
he's
about
got to
it.
shave that terrible
Yeah,
face.
we're going to have to get that ready. He can fit into his uniform. This is why it matters, right? Like, you can have an opinion about somebody. You know what I always say? Look, I was like, Mason Graham, we're not taking a D tackle. Here's the great thing about football. When you get out on that field, you can prove somebody right or prove somebody wrong. And there's two guys right now, Schlesinger and Mason Graham, that's proving people wrong each and every week. They coming out here getting better and better. And let me just say it. If we gonna destroy AB, now he's not off the hook.
Not off the hook, but
He
he's
ain't off
feeling
the
good
hook.
right now.
It's looking like his best draft by a mile.
But Schlesinger is a hit. Judkins is a hit. He didn't even get suspended. It looked like a bigger hit.
Yeah.
Listen, Bond was open a few times. He could have got hit with a couple throws that were missed. He was open. But Mason Graham is doing his thing. Fannin looks like a ball player. Hutchinson, I don't know where he came from. By the way, we got to count Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire, right? We got to count
Not
them.
in this year's.
Not this year,
No,
but
he gets
Andre
credit for it.
Schmidt. Andre Schmidt.
And now Jason's boy, Andre Schmidt.
I don't know that I want to be tied to that.
Well, listen, you did your
the brakes
victory
on
lap.
that.
You did your victory lap early. You got to take it.
I mean,
but
it
it's
clearly looks like, I mean, especially the defensive line.
bull.
They are loaded up front.
I think it's a
way
case
better
where,
than I thought it was.
I think it's a case where Miles is setting the table and the dogs are eating.
Well, that's the thing.
He's taking up so much. I've never heard this before.
So go ahead and say it. I know what you're saying.
I've heard offenses scheme away from Deion Sanders. Teams would just say, well, his side of the field is off limits. I've never heard a no 95 play call sheet.
Like this.
They're
Hey,
not
hold
doing
on.
that for anybody else.
Nobody else in the
Nobody
league
else.
demands a no 90. I guarantee you, the Browns know where Micah Parsons is, but Kevin Stefanski isn't holding a no 1 play call sheet.
In fact, they said that on the broadcast, something like, "Oh, I bet you Kevin Stefanski is one of those."
No.
I was like, "Nah, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
like,
He's
hey.
not Miles Garrett."
Coach,
No.
get the binoculars. 95 in? Nah, scrap that one.
And
Yeah,
they
remember
blew that.
one.
They were right. They blew. Remember that time when he was off the field?
Off the field.
They had to call a timeout.
Yes.
That was a
They
huge
should have
mistake.
had 2 plays with him resting up.
Absolutely. To me, I have one coach in charge of just seeing when Miles Garrett's off the
Especially
field.
if you've got a no 95 call
Yes.
sheet. The most important thing
You
about
can't
that
waste
is
those
making sure you
moments.
know when 95 is not on the field.
You can't waste those
Another
moments.
weird thing to me, guys.
Yeah.
I do think that, and we give Miles his flowers for sure.
Yeah.
I just think that what we saw yesterday was simply a case of the Packers saying, they may beat us on defense, but 95 is not going to beat us. We're going to make 94 show up, and we're going to make all these other guys show up. And they did. They had, I don't know that I've ever seen a game plan, and Miles Garrett leads the league in doubles. He was triple teamed for a large part of yesterday's game. I don't know that there was a play where he just had one guy on him. And as a result, so much attention was focused on 95. Everybody else got to eat. All the other guys were getting home and making plays. And one last thing, as long as we're passing out flowers, and I agree with you.
On Miles Garrett, Steve, take tagboard full here real quick. Mina Kimes tweeted out this picture. If you didn't see it, it's a conga line. Trying to block Miles Garrett.
He's not going to beat us.
I mean, look at that.
95 is not going to beat us. And you know what that
So,
gives everybody else, for the most part? Single coverage.
So look at that. You got 4 guys on the other side from Green Bay for 3 Browns, and the other way, it's 3 Packers for 1 Brown.
Who tweeted that out?
Mina Kimes.
And by
That
the way,
is a great picture because that's what we were seeing all day
By the
long.
way, that means one of their best tight ends has to stay in the block.
Yes.
Their running back, Josh Jacobs, who's a pass catching threat, has to stay in the block.
Yeah.
What a picture.
And
There's
That's-
8 Packers right there. There's
Right.
8. That leaves 3
And you
in
know
the
what
route.
you could do? And Schwartz, I'm sure will see this. You can send Schlesinger on a blitz from the linebacker. Look, you could drive a truck through that hole.
By the way, you don't.
But here's the thing: you got 8 guys, so there's only 3 guys out in the pattern, and the Browns have 7 guys outside of
Yes.
The Browns only have 4 guys in the line.
Which minimizes Love's ability to find an open receiver.
Maybe the best part of this whole picture, don't drop it. You have the conga line, obviously, to the right with your tight end, your running back, and your left tackle. 96 beat 77 off the bat.
He's through.
Yeah.
They got pressure and forced the throwaway on this play, despite the fact that it had nothing to do with Miles Garrett. 96 beat his man one-on-one.
And the
It
right,
had
the right
everything to
guard
do
is the right guard is about to block air too.
Mike, I know what you meant, but let's make it clear. It had everything to do with Miles Garrett.
I'm just,
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's
the
it.
result did not.
Miles
He
stealing
was
so
able-
much
yes.
attention is setting the table, and the other dogs are finally eating.
We-
Why? Because he has dogs there with him now. He doesn't have pigs, and they're getting to the quarterback, and they're making plays. And like I said, last point, we're handing out flowers. AB was going to be on my list here, but I also want to give credit to Bubba Ventrone, who we have been killing, and
deservedly
probably
so.
rightfully so. His job was I mean, you're not going to fire a special teams coach in week 3, but eyebrows were raised. Yesterday, between the blocked field goal and the 55-yarder, now I know he doesn't get credit when the kicker puts it through, but he shouldn't also take the blame.
And there were no breakdowns on coverage.
Right, I thought yesterday's special teams helped win this game. Without special teams yesterday, those 2 plays, they don't win this game.
Yeah.
Period. So Bubba gets credit. I wanted to give Schwartz credit. I thought he schemed a marvelous game again. I thought Miles Garrett and AB, I wanted to bring him up too because I think, and I said this before the season started, this has the potential to be his best draft class yet. And I know that's not saying much, but already with not even a quarter of the season in the books, these guys all look like they're going to contribute for a lengthy period of time.
I think next year in the draft, first round, quarterback and left tackle. Second round, wide receiver. Third round, offensive line. Fourth round, offensive line.
Yes.
Fifth round, offensive line. Sixth round, offensive line. Seventh round, offensive line.
I know that, yes, I'm all for that. I know that teams don't look at it this way.
Yeah.
But somebody brought up a really interesting point to me this week about why the defense here is so good and why the offense. And I know you don't split the salary cap and say, well, you're going to spend half on the offense and half on the defense. But theoretically, that's, even though quarterback takes up the bulk of it, it should be pretty close. But what's happened with the Browns is they've got a 5-year dead hit of $230 million on the offensive side. So because of that, you're not going to pour offensive resources into this mess because you don't have the pillar to build around. So it looks like they've done it on the defensive side, even though, they made some interesting draft moves. We killed them because they didn't go offense right away. It might have been a philosophical overview of them saying, this team isn't ready to pour offensive pieces into it yet because the tent pole isn't there. The quarterback is dead money. So let's beef up the defense. Let's make the defense almost impenetrable and see what we have there, and then you can attack the offensive needs in future drafts.
Well, they still
up.
did. I mean, they drafted Judkins and
They
Fannin.
did, but Judkins, yes, early, but for the most part,
Fannin
in the later
was a third
rounds.
round pick.
Yeah,
But
he was, but the quarterbacks were 3rd and 5th.
Right, but what I'm saying is those 2 players might be their 2 best players on offense now.
I think
2
they
of
are.
their best,
I
certainly.
think they are. And here's the sad thing to me. I know we're going to get to see the rookie quarterbacks later this year, and we should. But are we really going to get a full picture? Like, if they both look miserable, is anybody really ready to say that we know what they are? Because without an offensive line and wide receivers, your quarterback is doomed. We're kind of seeing that with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
You got all week to get into this.
Yeah.
I'm not until Friday. Here's the only thing I'll say about the offensive line. The tackles have been really bad. Oh. Really, really, really. Because you're playing with 2 backups at both spots.
Yeah.
They pulled the plug on the DeWand experiment yesterday, moved him back to the right side. Zach had kind of heard that throughout the week that's the way they were going to go.
And he can't stay healthy.
So, but here's the thing. Last year, everybody was killing the line at the start of the year. Remember that? Everybody was killing the line.
Yeah.
And I said, guys, Deshaun's not where he's supposed to be, and he's holding the ball too long. And as soon as Deshaun went out and Jameis went in, everybody stopped complaining about the offensive line because the quarterback suddenly was in the spot he was supposed to be and he was getting the ball out on time. I'm not saying all the problems will be solved, but you have a quarterback right now who can't move.
Yeah.
And I do think if and when they go to Dylan, I do think it's going to help a little bit because you
I
at least
do
have
too.
a quarterback who's more mobile and they can move the pocket and they can start rolling. Now, is that when you don't have very good tackles,
That
I don't know
might
how
be
successful
bad.
you're going to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm just saying, I do think the quarterback play, much like last year, I think the quarterback play right now is making – I'm not saying there are no problems up front. There are. And they're only going to get worse into the future. Like, that's a problem for another day.
Huge problem.
Is where this line is headed.
Yeah.
But for right now, I do think different quarterback play might make the line look a
But
little
are
bit
you?
better.
My ultimate question or statement really was, my concern is it's going to be very difficult to get a true read on what we have with these kids if they're running for their lives from jump.
That's their job to get a read.
No,
Unless there's
no, I know it is.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, and the reason I bring Patrick Mahomes up is because, and I don't think in Kansas City it's so much the line. I do think that Kansas City has one weak link on the line, but I also think they don't have wide receivers that are giving separation, and Travis Kelce is old now.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you watch Patrick Mahomes. He made a pass yesterday that, and Collinsworth even pointed it out. It's like, who am I watching right now? Who am I looking at? Everything changes when your quarterback is on the run from jump. And Mahomes is a guy that can run and can buy time. But suddenly the Chiefs, and not suddenly because this has happened over 3 years, the Chiefs' offense looks more and more pedestrian to me every time I watch them. And a big part of that is the offensive line isn't great and the wide receivers get no separation. And that sounds like our line. So I want to give Gabriel and Shedeur a fair shake.
Yeah.
I just don't know what we're going to learn.
Yeah, that's fair. It might not, but ultimately
We gotta see them.
That's their job, and let's face it, the reality is more likely than not that they're going to draft a quarterback next year, no matter what these guys do.
I agree.
We're talking quarterback in our next topic, which is brought to us by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. We all make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 off in lineups after you play your first 5. Prize Picks is going to be right. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show if you haven't. We got a bunch of people watching today. If you are watching and not already a subscriber, hit the like button. Do us a favor. It costs you $0.00. All right, guys, on our post-game show last night, after we gave some immediate thoughts on the Browns' win, the discussion immediately shifted to how putrid the Browns' offense looked for the first 56 minutes and whether or not Joe Flacco could be the Browns' long-term answer there. Not long-term in terms of the season, but long-term for the next couple of weeks because of how poorly he played once again. We've talked about this
In Browns world, a couple weeks.
a couple weeks, a long time for the Browns.
Right?
No, this is just silly. Dylan Gabriel, sorry, Mike, to cut you off.
No, you're
Dylan
good.
Gabriel should be playing. This is silly. I don't care what any of the Browns beat reporters say anymore. Even Zach, I love him, and he's going to tell me again this week, and Jason's probably going to say again this week. Joe Flacco, it's unfortunate, but he is not good at football. We all know this. He's not good at football.
Let's just say he's old.
He had 8 seconds where he was good in 2023. Besides that, he's been bad for a decade, and it's enough. It's enough. We can't watch. Almost every throw he makes is bad. He can't move. He's old. He's not accurate anymore. He's not. He's throwing balls. Even in the first week when people were lauding his performance, I said he wasn't accurate. And I was right.
He was 31 of 45 with
I don't
7
care.
drops.
I don't care. There's 7 drops. He's throwing everything low. He's throwing it high. He stinks. I love him.
Jay,
he
you
stinks.
agree?
He's terrible. Get him out. Can't play. Gabriel can't be worse, Jason. He can't be worse.
At halftime, when Ty and I were having our powwow, I think I said then, I think I'm going to have to write, it's time to go to Dylan. And I think this win probably bought them a stay of execution for another week or two. I still think the plan is Miami, October 19th.
Why?
I just think they want to get through these first few games.
But why?
I'm kind
You
of.
don't learn sitting on the bench. Let's go play.
Well,
Go ask Deion Sanders. He don't learn sitting on the
all
bench.
right. Well, that's a foolish thing to say because you may not learn sitting on the bench, but you can get the hell beat out of you by not sitting on the bench.
So what? He's a 3rd-round pick. Who cares?
Now, see, that's the part I actually agree with.
Yeah.
This is not like the future of your franchise.
No.
It's not like they took this guy as a top 5 pick And, okay, if you go to him too soon and then you go back to Joe, you destroy his – listen, he's a third-round pick.
Right, exactly.
And he's
He's a
played
long shot.
64
He was
games.
he was a bridge 2 years ago.
And
And then they blew up that bridge, and then they tried to build it again.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's got a ton of college experience. I didn't want to play him this week. I didn't think this was like – I was definitely on the don't play him for Cincy, Baltimore, Green Bay. Don't love the idea of playing him in Detroit, but it's better than the Packers, even though you're on the road and it's going to be loud and all that, and here's at home. I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, okay, play him. Now, they're not going to. At least not right now. But I do think – because if it's a disaster, you can go back to Joe.
Right.
Like, so what?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
So it's not like you're destroying the confidence of the quarterback that you expect to be here for the next 10 to 15 years. And maybe he can give you some sort of spark. Like I said, I do think he's going to be able to move a little bit better. I do think he can spark the offense a little bit. He hasn't been terrible in the games that we've seen him. I know everybody at practice and that stupid quarterback tracker that was more destructive than helpful all summer long.
I don't know. Who cares about any of that
But
stuff?
I'm just saying, like, everyone has a bad taste in their mouth because of Dylan. But he hasn't looked bad in the preseason games that we saw him. He looked fine. It was garbage time against Baltimore. He looked fine there. So give him a chance.
Yeah,
And
let's
if it's awful and it's a disaster and you need to go back to Joe, then go back to Joe in 4 weeks. So what?
This segment by G. Bush is sponsored by the Medicare Advantage program. Joe, I like it. I appreciate you, but we're not going to give you half off on the Salvation Army with your Buckeye card. It's Green Ticket Day. It's time to go, man. Listen, there's not even no emotion involved with it because he's at the point where he's playing, and I'm going to get specific. He's at the point where he's looked like he's checking the football down just to keep his job. I'm like, bro, have you ever seen a flea flicker tight end screen in my life? Have you seen
That was wild.
A flea flicker tight end dump off screen?
Isaiah Bond was wide open.
And he was
Wide open.
Although
there was a linebacker in the middle of the field there that they didn't point out on the telecast.
Linebacker ain't catching Bond.
No. It would have been intercept. I went back and looked at it because they said he had a man that he missed. I went back later, looked at it, paused it. Had he thrown that ball, it likely would have been picked off. There was a linebacker underneath.
If he threw a straight line
go back and
drive
look at it, Mike. I froze it.
I'm looking at the freeze frame right here, Jay.
He was right there, Mike.
If he
Call
shot him with a bullet and it did not go over 3 feet on the ground, yes, it would have picked off.
But
Bond's 8 yards behind him.
Throw it up, Mike.
Anticipation.
He still has to throw it through that airspace to get him the football.
G, continue. I'll pull the picture up and we'll
Yes,
there we go.
yes, please.
So he was wide open. He missed Bond. He sailed the football. And Bull is right. He has not been accurate. Like, when he's throwing the ball is 2 yards out of bounds. Like, he's not giving guys – and the check down Charlie Brown stuff, that looked cool. And it's like, okay, great. Do you know he averaged 3.9 yards per drop back pass?
Insane.
He's only averaging 5 for the whole season.
3.9
for the entire season.
His only touchdown this year is a ball that should have been was
an interception,
and it popped out of his
hand. Should have been an interception. He's thrown 2 touchdowns.
He simply
he threw 1 in week 1. Yeah.
He simply does not give the Browns a best chance to win. Like this, to be honest with you, you're limited with what you can run in your offense. We talk about people not being where they want to be. Hey, listen, let's talk about the people that you can't get away from people in the pocket. You throwing the ball, you're inaccurate, and at the end of the day, man, this excuse is like we're not sending Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders to Iraq, man. They're playing,
exactly.
Like they're playing freaking football.
What they've been doing their whole lives.
Like what is this? What is this stuff with people and they're gonna mentally melt? Bull is right. If you're a quarterback, if Zach Wilson melts, he's not good.
That's right.
If you can't handle, like, we all work in this profession. If they say somebody, hey, you want to be in this, and they turn them cameras on, and you freeze up, and you don't say nothing, you didn't meant to be here. We didn't destroy your confidence. You just weren't good. It's a difference between confidence and not being able to play the position. At this point in time, Joe Flacco is 41 years old, right?
Wait, is he 40? 41?
40.
He's 40.
Yeah,
He's 40 years old. Let me tell you something. The only person I've seen ball after 40 is Tom Brady. At the end of the day, when you look at this, think about this. The Baltimore Ravens decided almost a decade ago he was washed. What are you talking about? They own a second quarterback. No disrespect, but Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders cannot possibly be as worse as what Joe Flacco is at this point. And guess what? Have a day, Cleveland Browns. Do yourself a favor. You already went with the youth movement. Turns out that half the best players on your team are rookies and young guys. Maybe you might slip up and find that at quarterback. But guess what? The scars are there. We understand the Deshaun Watson, the Baker Mayfield, we are petrified in our souls to see a quarterback that might actually fail. We are petrified. But guess what? You don't have nothing to lose anyway.
We shouldn't be. We've seen enough of them.
We've seen it. I seen what Joe was.
I got the screenshot, Jay.
Bring it
We're
up.
going to take this fold.
Bring it up.
If you were to try and tell me this would be picked off, I'm going to have to revoke your football credentials.
Oh, no, that's not picked off. He's wide open. He can throw it open.
Who's going to get picked off?
The guy on the front side of the circle.
The guy at the 36?
Directly between, the man directly between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
That perception, that is a mile away.
He would need a
He's
trampoline and a
closer to the
pogo
receiver
stick.
than he is to the quarterback.
No.
The quarterback's on the 40.
I've never been more wrong in your life,
He's 12 yards away. The
Which
receiver
guy
is 7 yards away from him.
He's 20 yards in between.
I'm confused which guy you're talking
The
about.
guy at the
The
30
linebacker?
The guy at
I'm
the front of the
sorry.
43-yard line.
It's a 43.
43-yard line. The guy
Who's
between
running
Joe
towards
and
the
Bond.
quarterback?
Yes, that's who Jay's
Yeah.
talking about.
Okay.
How would he intercept the ball? You're going to throw it over his head.
Well,
That's what I'm
let's
saying.
draw a line. I wish we had a telestrator. Let's draw a straight line between Flacco and the receiver.
But like the
Who's directly in between them?
But like I said, you don't throw the ball at a
But
straight.
like the
It's
earth,
not a pitch.
when you're
So he can't move one step to his right laterally?
no,
He's
no.
a linebacker.
Are we putting
Jay, you're
trampoline?
throwing over his head.
Are we putting
trajectory
trampolines
involved.
on the field now?
Throw it over his head and watch the safety who's already
safety's
breaking
10
towards
yards
the
back.
back.
10 yards
See, that's
back.
the thing. When you take a freeze frame, you can't see motion. You don't know how fast everybody's moving in what direction.
This is the craziest take you've ever had,
look,
Jay.
Joe-
In the history of the show, this is your
let me
craziest
ask you
take.
this. Let me
That's
ask
a
you
high
this.
bar.
What's
This
the
is
higher
wild.
percentage pass? And by the way, we're going to all agree on this in terms of should Joe go or not. But in terms of the higher percentage completion, which one is it?
This is 99%.
No, it's not.
Yes,
You can't
No,
miss
it's
that
not.
throw to
You
the
can't
He would
miss that.
throw that and it would
That's
get
as
picked
easy
off,
a
and at the
20-yard
same
lay
moment,
as
everybody
you'll
would
ever
jump
get
up
in
and
the
say,
NFL.
what was he throwing that pass for?
High school
Understand how two guys 10 yards away from him are going to pick it off. I don't
Jay,
understand.
that's
No.
That
He's closer to the receiver than he is to the quarterback.
This is Avon Lake
But he's
Middle
running
School.
towards the quarterback.
That is wide open.
To me,
in
it
the
looks like
NFL.
he's just standing there.
That is
he's
wide
playing
open.
linebacker.
That is-
He's ready to go wherever he
I
needs
know,
to
but
go.
if Joe throws it right there with some arc, which he would do, it's easily over his head. There's no way he's getting back on that.
That safety's going where? Where is the safety going?
It looks
Nowhere.
like he's headed towards
See,
Bond.
that's
but Bond
why
is going on an angle.
The beauty of this is you can, and I've seen this happen a million times. You can freeze a play and say, "Oh my God, why didn't he go here? Why did he throw here?"
This has to be the most
but
wide
what
open
other
I've
choice
ever
do we
seen a
have,
player.
Jay?
No.
Jay, if you're going to say that's going to get picked off, then I can say every pass is going to get picked off.
That is wide.
Guys,
open.
is he not going to have to throw that on a line?
No, he's putting arc on it. It's a lob
If he
pass.
puts arc on it, watch out for your safety.
the safety's 10 yards
Safety's 10
behind
yards
him.
back.
He's
Yeah,
not
but-
going to airmail it.
How fast is the ball going to get there?
A fast?
No, because he's not throwing it on a line. He's putting arc on it.
So you
So
don't.
the safety's
hold on,
not gonna
hold
break on that pass?
Hold on, Jay.
Jay, I love
Jay,
you,
hold
but
on,
you're
hold
so
on,
off on
hold
this
on,
one.
Jay. Listen, let me say. Listen, just because you put arc on the ball does not mean that you don't have velocity. It's velocity.
No, it's touch.
It's velocity and trajectory, and there's a level of touch there as well.
Gee, you're either going to throw it hard on a line, or you're going to put air under it on an arc.
But Jay, he's
there's-
not throwing
you
it
don't-
50 yards.
All right, okay. Agree
Yeah,
to disagree.
Way
This
off
is-
topic, because guess what, guys?
We can't.
This is silly.
This is
move
a
on.
clean sweep.
Move on.
Yes,
Okay.
it's time, but my reason for changing is different from your guys. And it comes with a disclaimer. We're going to see the same stuff. We're going to see the same stuff. It's not like Dylan Gabriel's going to come in there and totally reinvent the offense.
Dylan Gabriel makes that throw.
He won't.
He can make that throw.
But here's what
Shedeur Sanders can make that
Here's
throw.
what's going to happen, guys. Here's what's going to happen. In the future, as we move forward, we know what we've got on offensive line. We know what we have at wide receiver. When you make the change, just understand that you can't expect completely different results.
Why can't you?
Because
He
there's
can make that throw.
Bull, you know better than anyone that football is a complementary sport. You got to have the offensive line. You've got to have the wide receivers. Right now, they don't.
That
They
receiver
don't
right there
have-
is wide open.
Bro, that handwriting looks like. Did you write that with your opposite hand?
I'm doing it on a mouse pad
It's
with my
terrible.
right hand.
It's terrible.
All you got to do is throw it.
I don't think anybody's expecting it to be dramatically different right
it won't
away.
be.
But it could be.
But
It's possible.
here's the point. Here's the point
Yeah.
I want to make. Joe's old. Joe's slow. He's goes to a spot and he
Yeah.
stays there. He can't run. So anytime you devise an offense around a guy that's an immobile quarterback, you make it easy on the defense. I think you make the change because how good our defense is. If our defense played like it did last year and was just middle of the road, giving up 35 points, what difference does it make? At that point, yeah, you got to be all in on losing. You've got to lose. Right now, I'm not sure that they're going to get a top 3 draft pick. I'm not, because our defense is that good. So you owe it to the defense to at least make it look like you're trying. And I think it's a similar parallel to what's going on with the Giants. Last night, watching the Giants game, it kind of felt like that Ravens game for the Browns. Even though it was close in the third quarter, like even late in the third quarter, you felt like this game could be won by the Giants. And you've got the crowd booing Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. And what's tricky about this is last week Russell Wilson pulled a 2023 Joe Flacco. He went out there and threw for 450. And then you're looking at Dart saying, can Dart do that? But then you watch last night and Russell was old Russell again. He looked old. He looked tentative. He threw some deep balls that I'm like, what does he even see on these passes? He was throwing into triple coverage. He should have had 3 or 4 passes intercepted. So you almost have to say to the defense, we recognize what you're doing, and we're going to at least roll the dice and give it a shot. Because with Joe, you have no shot whatsoever.
No.
None, 0, nil.
No.
Now, I don't go so far as to say he's bad at football. Joe Flacco's old. It happens to all of us.
Right.
When you get older, you lose certain skill sets. He was never mobile to begin with. If you would have told me that Joe Flacco, when he was 30, was going to play at 40, I would tell you that's going to be a disaster because he wasn't mobile when he was 30. So our package is pretty simple, isn't it? It's like we throw to tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. But suddenly, guys, we've run into an option at running back. And they even said it last night watching the Giants. They go, I think what the Giants have to do here is just go with Scattaboo. Just give them a healthy dose of that. And they no sooner said that, and they were dropping Russell back on all 3 downs of a series.
Here's what I want to say.
We got a running back, guys.
Here's what I want to say. It's more to coaching and front office work than just picking and picking numbers off a list and saying, see what happens and throw it against the wall and see what sticks. It's about actually showing that you have a relationship with people and breathing confidence into people and say, listen, you don't think if you go to Miles Garrett and Denzel Ward and you say, listen, we know what Joe is. I done told Joe the same conversation. Joe, we going to play you until you don't ball. You know how this goes. You said it in the preseason. When you're not balling, our mandate is different all of a sudden. We got to get these other dudes ready to go. You don't think you can go to Miles Garrett and say, listen, we gonna need y'all to play lights out. We're going to need you to hold the rope. And I need you to make sure every other person over there is holding the rope defensively, even if we got a young quarterback in here. Then you go to them young quarterbacks and say, listen, this is a competition. We want to see what y'all got. Your time is now. When Joe is getting ready, you better be getting ready. When Joe is doing things in the offseason to prepare for these games or in the room that week, you better be getting ready as if you are playing. These guys are not children.
Don't you think they already tell them that?
No.
I mean, at quarterback, you're a snap away. You better be preparing that way.
Well, in that case, they would have already been playing them.
No. I'm just talking about the preparation.
But the definition, when people say Dylan Gabriel's not ready, the definition of a backup quarterback is that you need to be ready tomorrow within a snap. So if
one snap away,
if he was not ready,
that's on the coach.
Then why is he the backup?
Yes,
then?
that's right.
Because he needs to be ready.
To that point, Jason, why I agree with you that they're not going to play Dylan Gabriel.
I was ready when they put him in there.
But why do you think Kevin, like if Kevin Stefanski had the truth serum right now, why is he not playing Dylan Gabriel?
I think he wants to stick with Joe for the veterans.
Do the veterans want Joe anymore?
I disagree with it. I'm just telling you. I think the plan all along was to get through these first 6.
Yeah.
And then
but why
see
not
where they
change
were
the
at,
plan?
and then see where they were at.
But at that point, you could be too far down the rabbit hole for it to make any difference. I agree with you with the defense.
To make any difference in terms of what?
Well, if you're 0-6 at that point, like what is it?
Well, you're not. You're 1-5 now.
Okay, you're 1-5 at that point.
And you're trying to get a quarterback next year anyway, so 1-5 isn't the worst of
Chris Collinsworth said something
to be
else
in.
that was funny last night. He said, when when they draft a young quarterback, the fact of the matter is it's usually the next coach's quarterback. And if you think about that, and then Tirico said, yeah, historically, that seems to be true. When you've got a guy and they draft a guy, typically you're drafting the quarterback. You're not saying that when you draft it, but oftentimes it ends up being the next head coach's quarterback. We could find out in week 4 what Dylan Gabriel is, or at least begin to find out. I think, Detroit's defense is fine. They're great. I don't think they're as good as some of the defenses that they're going to face this year. Maybe Detroit is the defense to put them out there. That could be a shootout of a game.
I would, like I said, I would not put him out there against Baltimore on the road.
No.
I would not put him out there against Micah and Green Bay. We're at the point now, though, it's like, just put him out there.
Yes, just see what you have.
Can't be worse than what you.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because I've said this all along. Again, he's the last man standing. Kevin Stefanski is in charge of the offense. We have changed everything about the offense. We've changed quarterbacks. We've changed tackles. We've changed support staff. He is the last man remaining. If you put rookies in the game, he will be judged upon how those rookies look. He will be judged, as he should. They're going to look at, did you prepare them? How good did they look? What are you doing with the offense? Are we seeing positive plays? If there are no positive plays to be had and it does not look good, it's going to give people less confidence in the fact that he can actually go get another quarterback the next year and do what he didn't do this year. But the problem you have with this whole slow play game is you're going to end up doing the same thing you're doing this year. If Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel don't play, they're going to jettison them and put them in camp with another rookie quarterback, and now you have 2 guys who haven't played and another guy who you invested a lot of money in the first-round pick. So he's eventually going to play, regardless.
Well, I mean, Dylan Gabriel's definitely going to play this year.
to play this year.
I don't know about Shedeur, but Dylan's on.
Let's get it done. What are we waiting for?
That's a fair question.
I think everybody here agrees.
Yeah.
I do think when you draft a quarterback in the 3rd round, it comes with. I know we'll have labels.
It's a lot different than a first-round quarterback.
And that's where I'm going with this. I think if he was, I think we're going to see Dart in New York next week, or there's going to be a mutant.
And Russell Wilson's been overall better than Flacco.
He has been. There's more reason to keep Russell Wilson than there is to keep Joe Flacco.
There is no reason for us.
But you know what Russell last week reminded me of Joe in 23. He just went out there and slung it all around and made everybody go, well, wait a minute. I guess this guy can still play. We said that about Joe in 23. Now it's 2 years later. If it was a first-round pick, you absolutely have to see what you have. He's a 3rd-round pick. You still need to know. You have to find out what he is. And at some point, we're probably going to see Shedeur Sanders.
Probably.
Either by choice, because Gabriel, I don't expect Gabriel to look much better.
Well,
I don't.
The thing with Dylan that you were concerned about is injuries.
Yes.
With guys who are that small, when you get hit.
I know.
Well, they shouldn't
But
have
that's
drafted
not a
him.
reason not to play him.
They shouldn't have drafted him.
That's on the team at this point.
That was a concern with Baker. I said that about Baker. Baker's too small. He's going to get hurt.
Baker hasn't missed a game in how many years?
Yeah, he's been healthy.
Some guys just have that, they have the ability to take the hits and jump right back up. Let's find out if Dylan Gabriel's that guy. Because you know what? He's going to need to be that guy. Because guess what they're saying in Cincinnati right now? We've got a lottery ticket, but we can only scratch half of it.
And let me be clear.
Because you can't see him.
When I say I've never viewed Dylan Gabriel as the answer to this franchise at quarterback for the long term. Never, not once.
No.
I've never said it. I'm just saying, when you got a quarterback that size, there is a huge injury risk, and that's part of the reason why I don't think he's a franchise quarterback answer for this team for the next 10, 12
I think
years.
the interesting part of this is going to be, and I don't know what week we're going to see him, but when we eventually see Dylan Gabriel, what leash does he get? Does he get the whole season no matter what?
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, especially when you got another quarterback that you drafted last year.
The only way I would play Dylan Gabriel the entire rest of the season is if he's
plays
phenomenal.
well. If he plays well.
Plays well,
He's great, then I'm not taking him out.
No, you wouldn't.
Let's go from a hypothetical version of a rookie playing to the 6 rookies who made a major impact in the game yesterday. Our rookie report this week is brought to us by Mazda, moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They pushed what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning, and just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. Guys, 6 rookies contributed massively to the win yesterday. Mason Graham, Schlesinger, Judkins, Fannin, Aiden Huntington, the undrafted defensive tackle, and Andre Schmidt, who technically does qualify as a rookie. Let's start with Judkins, guys. This has been our most popular segment for 2 weeks in a row now in the VOD world, so we're going to keep it going until these rookies stop contributing. But
Guys,
Judkins was incredible.
Yeah.
And it was the best performance by a Browns running back since Nick Chubb went down against the Steelers a couple of years ago.
You know, we saw him look good in garbage time against Baltimore the week before, but it was garbage time, so you didn't want to get carried away. He looked phenomenal in yesterday's game, and the only good drive the Browns had the whole day was that first field goal where they got down to the one, obviously.
It was like a 70-some yard drive, I think.
Yeah, it was the only drive of more than 37 yards the whole day was that drive, and it was 2 huge plays by him and 1 huge play by Fannin.
Was that where they got to the 1 and then they ended up first and goal from the 20? Why didn't they use the jumbo package there that worked so well when they got down there to the 1 before?
Because they decided that they wanted to go with the slot fade with Luke Whippler on the goal line.
Yeah,
That's
that
smart.
was a big. But then it felt like there was
with the big fullback in
Play
there,
action,
and
slot
Judkins,
fade.
I like my chances for the
Luke
1 every
Whippler
time.
on the reception.
Judkins was having
They called him Whipler the first time. I'm like, that's better.
Judkins ran for 51 yards on the first 2 plays of that drive.
Yeah.
Right? Again, the Browns had not had a drive to that point more than 37 yards, and Judkins ran for 14 and then 38, I believe. So 52, I think it was 52 on those first 2 plays. Fannin made a nice catch, but, man, he looks like the real deal. I actually thought the run blocking was fine by the offensive line. The pass blocking is terrible, but I thought the run blocking was fine. They gave him some holes.
What if you had to rate the rookies by 1 to 6, like against one another?
I mean,
like which of the rookies stood out the most to you?
Yeah, how do
that's tough for me. Like,
how do you compare a linebacker to a running back?
No, I know, but just on impact. Like,
I'm putting Judkins number 1. I thought he was that good.
I did too.
So many guys were that good, but I thought it was a great performance, and he looks very, very promising going forward.
Judkins has the backing of the locker room. Like, they think they've got a dude. I've heard from enough guys there. They're like, we got something in 10.
Yep.
And that's part of what I was talking about last week. And I don't think you were here. All the Baker and Nick Chubb stuff at midfield, and everybody was so angry that Nick isn't here anymore. I'm like, it's going to be okay. Quinshawn can run the ball. He's legit. So, yeah, I mean.
You know, outside of him, we had 2 yards rushing.
Well, how many times did they rush?
Once.
It was Dylan Sampson on that third.
What does that tell? But what does that tell you?
Sampson's role is getting less and less and less.
He played 5 snaps,
and he got stuck in pass protect a couple times yesterday too.
Yeah, I don't like Sampson in pass.
But Jerome Ford's terrible also.
You know what we have? We've got Judkins, and then we got a bunch of dudes like we used to have on the defensive line, Miles and a bunch of guys.
Well,
I don't know that we've got another running back that's even worse.
Most teams
have only one running back.
Yeah, but you got to have. I think has it been announced yet that they Luke Floria? Have they moved that yet?
He's on the practice squad.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had mentioned that or
Brad
not.
Steinberg tweeted it out.
They
Shout
brought
out to
him back.
Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Quinshawn, listen, it's a difference between regular and one of them. It's different, bro. Like, when you got an offensive line, sometimes be like, the offensive line be opening these holes. It'd be like, no, Quinshawn Judkins just make the first dude miss. That's the difference between, that's what happens to the backs. People say the backs fall off a cliff. No, they don't fall off a cliff. They just start getting tackled by the first dude they contact. That's usually what happens. Like, he has young, fresh legs. When those guys are in the 38-yard run, it was a medium cutback. He was just like, oh, no, I see a hole, I'm going this way. And he had the vision to get out back outside. It started inside, went back outside. And that just goes to show you that elite running backs, it's an innate type thing. And it's like this with a lot of the positions.
He didn't need training camp.
He didn't need training camp. Like, sometimes, and this is why I would like to use it as an example for everything. Sometimes when you're in the game, some people just got it. That's a game cut right there, Bull. Like, he might be in practice. You're like, oh, well, it was supposed to go here. I'm going to keep it front side. You don't know if you're a dog or not unless you get put into the fire and you can see that. Now, before this, nobody would have said Quinshawn Judkins was going to give you 90-something yards with 5.2 carries on the Packers, right? But you saw what it is when he got in the game and he turned it up. That's the difference between regular dudes and one of them. When you one of them, you're going to get money off against the best, right? Michael Parsons them was out there sucking wind a little bit. You know what I mean? So, Kevin Stefanski, I'm going to just give you a heads up. Here's what you do. I'm gonna give you a reprieve on this because it's a Kool-Aid Mafia Monday, and we ain't had no Kool-Aid in a long time. But the next time I see you, and you run a play action slot fade corner route to a center, I'm gonna lose it. Here's what you need to do. You need, when y'all got down there to that, when y'all got 3 points, and Quinshon Judkins had that long run, don't turn this into a Nick Chubb worrying about carries. Give the ball to him 4 straight times on the goal line, and if he don't make it in 4 straight times, we'll shake their hand. But he is your only offensive playmaker. It is time to take the training wheels off, and he needs to be in the game at all costs, and he needs to be getting the ball. I'm just letting you know. Yes. I'm gonna give you a reprieve. Don't let me see you throw no more slot fades or pass plays with offensive linemen no more.
I usually don't have a problem with trick plays. I'm usually I feel like people are way too critical about trick plays because they always look bad when they don't work. That one seemed baffling. I didn't know what they were doing there.
He came out with conviction too. It was a hard play fake. You know what I'm saying? Who's outside?
It didn't make sense. I hated the play call, even if it worked. And sometimes I do in the moment say, okay, it worked, but I hated it. I would have said that about that play. Don't outthink the room. You have it 1st and goal from the 1 yard line.
Come on, man.
Think about how big that whole series, that debacle, would have been had they lost by 3 points in overtime. Winning hides warts. And losing puts a spotlight on them. And fortunately for Kevin Stefanski, that whole debacle of a series didn't come back to get him. But I've seen enough with our jumbo package. We've got a fullback that looks like a Mack truck. Yeah. And he pointed this out. He has played fullback before. He knows how to get his pads lower. He knows how to blow a hole. It was easy. Stop it, Paul. It was easy. Judkins could have got 3 yards if he needed 3 yards in that spot. So I hope in the future when we get inside the 1, we don't start running these crazy, I drew this up at 3 in the morning because I woke up and couldn't stop thinking about anything else. Leave those at 3 a.m. Run what works, and that works. That play. And look, it doesn't mean it's going to work on every play, but when it's 1st and goal, you don't need to get creative. Just plow through the middle.
Luke Whippler could barely do his own job, let alone.
Yeah, now you're asking him to catch a pass.
Go Bucks.
Luke Whippler might be your starting center next year.
Oh,
who else are we going to put there?
I'll shake his hand.
Who else do we have?
Me, G. Bush are going out there next
year. No.
Can we please get you guys? That'd make a great training series.
It would be. Real quick, the other offensive rookie I want to hit on real quick. Fannin, not the biggest game, but that tackle or the tackles he broke at the end.
That was a big play.
Setup was a big play. Real quick, thoughts on Fannin? Are we good on Fannin? We'll get to
it wasn't a huge factor, but I think we all love his potential, especially when they get better talent around.
Listen, Kevin, let me talk to you real quick. Keep the 2 tight ends on the field. Those are your pass catchers. They're going to catch the ball more times than not than these receivers. I like what you can do with them. You can keep them in a block. You can check, release them. And your goal is to get those guys an empty space because David Njoku and Harold Fannin Jr. are a load to bring down. And nowadays, their corners are smaller. Safeties are smaller. Get them in space. Get them some quick.
Yes. And let them run some verticals. If we saw Fannin running routes off the wide receiver tree when he was at Bowling Green, I want to see if that's – because a lot of times that doesn't translate college. Because in college, you've got guys at positions, you can find the weak link. At the NFL, it's tough. I want to see, can he run vertical routes against an NFL defense like some of these other elite tight ends I have?
Yeah.
My guess is he will be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Let's see it.
Can't check it down. You got
Joe's throwing everything short
and
right
that's
now,
the problem. He doesn't have a safety valve then.
All right, let's go to the defensive rookies because Mason Graham yesterday, according to ESPN Analytics, recorded a 43% pass rush win rate against the Packers. The average for a defensive tackle is 9. Let me repeat that. According to ESPN's analytics, he had a 43% pass rush win rate against the Packers in Week 3. The average for a defensive tackle is just 9%.
When does PFF come out, Mike? Tomorrow?
Or in the next hour.
Today.
Okay. I'd be curious to see how that compares to PFF's.
Yeah, that's just pass rush win rate. That's just one metric. But Jason, he did record his first half sack. Was in on a ton of plays. is looking pretty good through 3 games.
Yeah, it's so hard to gauge defensive tackles. Usually, everyone wants to go to the stat sheet, and you're just not going to see a lot from that spot. But I mean, Graham's been a beast since the opening drive against Cincinnati. He kind of got pushed around a little bit there, and ever since then, he's settled in and really solidified that whole inside of the line. Graham and Malik Collins together is terrifying, coming from the middle of the defensive line, and he's showing why he went 5th overall. And why the Browns were as high on him as what they were. The trade was, they knocked it out of the park. I said it on draft night. I loved it. They got Quinshawn out of the trade, and they got a future one out of it to go from 2 to 5.
Well, it looks good. If they
get
a quarterback with that pick, then they knocked it out.
Then
of
it
the
looks
park.
all time
No,
great.
they knocked
right
it out
now
of the-
with what they got, it looks great.
They knocked the trade itself out of the park, period. When you go from 2 to 5, you pick up an early
What's
2
Travis
and a
Hunter
future
doing?
1. You got to
right?
cash the pick.
Oh, it's true. They got the early 2. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now
I
you
mean, they
get-
could have taken Graham at 2, so I can't give them credit for Graham as that part of that trade. But
No, but
I mean, you
why
got
not move down a couple spots, still get them?
Yeah.
You gotta-
And I know it's early on
it
Travis
could
Hunter,
become
but
an
he's been
all-time
on
great
factor.
trade
You
if
gotta-
they get the quarterback.
If they
out
get
of
it
the
right.
pick.
You got an absolute menace.
But he's a stud.
Yeah.
And we were all down on it. I know I was especially down on it. It had very little to
He
do
was
with
going
him.
to quit, I think.
I was gone.
It had very little to do with him. It was more
gone.
about what they passed on. But obviously, it looks like a great pick because he looks like a, the frustrating thing about defensive players is, unless they're pass rushers or corners, it's you feel like they can't make an impact. But the two highly drafted defensive players this year, Graham and Schlesinger, have already made a lot of impact in 3 games, like noticeable impact.
Yep.
And that's really exciting. For them to be as impressive as they've been in their first 3 NFL games is super exciting.
Their first 4 picks are guys that we could, it's hard to
Yeah.
project. But right now, having the impact that they've had through 3 games, that's the hard part.
And
if they can translate that into future success, these guys could be stalwarts on both sides of the ball for a long time.
And the interesting thing is going to be over the next couple of years, can they, most importantly, find the quarterback?
Yeah.
And secondarily, fix the offensive line, which couldn't be a bigger disaster, at least going forward.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's a crisis. The
While-
offensive line
while
is a
at the
crisis.
What kind of has anybody looked at the free agents that are available next year?
I mean,
But before you get to that, while at the same time doing that before Miles and Denzel get too old.
yeah.
yes.
If they can get that done before those 2 guys get too old, with Schlesinger, with Graham,
Wow.
we could be talking about a really special team. That's a massive if until they get the quarterback.
Yeah,
It is.
You see why, again, people say, hey, trade Miles Garrett. You done lost your mind. Miles Garrett allows, that's the advantage of having somebody under contract that is a dominant player that's already proven. Now you get development during that track era, right? It looks like Miles missed his moment to play for a contender. It looks like Denzel probably missed his window to be a contender. So if people are saying, hey, no, just get rid of Miles Garrett, first of all, they couldn't do it. Second of all, these players wouldn't be playing the same way without.
That is
And
correct.
by the way, take a look at the Cowboys yesterday against a Bears offense that has looked drunk, for the last year plus. And that Cowboys defense yesterday, my jaw was on the floor how bad they were.
You don't get rid of generational players and Pro Bowl players
And get better.
and then hope. It's like if you're a millionaire, right? You already got money, but you spending $500,000 on lottery tickets for what? You already got the bag. It's hard enough manufacturing more money by gambling. You don't gamble. You add to it and you see if you can go ahead and make everything be like gel. So, but here's the thing too. If they can get, that's why I'm such an advocate on turning every stone and being imperative that you got to find a quarterback. If you can find a quarterback and you should be playing and you should be turning on every stone this year, you speed up everything else. Because if you find you got a quarterback, the offensive line is at a crisis. But what happens all of a sudden if I got 2 first-round picks that I don't have to use on a quarterback? Now I can get a tackle. I can go get another receiver. I got my 2nd-round pick, right? Or you got to think. We've been here before. Giving 3 first-round picks up for a quarterback, and if it don't work, where do you go? You don't have anything, no ammunition to get there.
Right.
And by the way, look, I know that they want to draft a quarterback, but I always say it. Where's that savior at? I've been watching TV.
It's too early. I know a lot of people have said it.
Right now, it doesn't look
Right now, it don't look
it
like
looks like there's no answer.
It doesn't, but there's
But it is
75% of the season that hasn't been played yet, and there are some quarterbacks that look good. Though the the Nebraska kid, Rioli. I'm not sure. If that's
Raiola.
He's only a sophomore, not eligible.
I like him. I thought he could come out.
No, he's a
I mean,
sophomore.
but
Oh, I
one-
thought I saw his
you know,
name mentioned as a potential. That
There's a
could come out
risk
after
in
the
taking a
season.
guy after one good year.
There's all.
Well, yeah.
G is right. As of this moment, there's clearly no short thing in this
It's
draft.
September.
But I know, but
I'm definitely. I'm waiting.
But I didn't say.
I'm waiting.
All I said is
I know.
as of this moment.
You're right.
Today.
What
So-
we've seen, it certainly isn't Arch Manning.
No.
So what we want to see is, here's the thing. I don't understand the apprehensiveness. I don't get it. If you looking out there, you don't see it. You got him in house, bro. Just go ahead and make the difference. Because if you can do that, now think about your class. Go ahead and just go all the way with it. Don't half step. If you can do that, and Graham looking good, and Schlesinger and all them other dudes, guys, if your quarterback look half decent, you can write your ticket here. AB, hey Kevin, you want a lifetime deal? Find that quarterback, bro, and pair it with the rest of these two.
I agree with you. I think that's the biggest if in the entire equation. Finding that quarterback is very difficult. We've talked about it on this show. Finding him later than the first round is even more difficult. Not impossible, Brock Purdy and many others, but you're right. Why hold that lottery ticket and not scratch it? We've got to see what's on there.
Stones.
We have to.
You got to have stones to make
We
that
got
move.
5 minutes left in this topic. Two other rookies we got to hit on. We mentioned Schlesinger, so we'll go through this quick. But for a dude making his third career start, he does not look any part of the rookie. He got his first sack yesterday on a baffling play by Jordan Love.
A+.
That was a weird play.
Weird play, but
why he
a
kept
sack
the ball
counts
there.
for a sack, so give him kudos.
What's funny was that was when
And
they
10
were talking
tackles.
about Schlesinger wearing the green dot.
Yep.
And then the very next play, he got the sack. It
10
was weird.
tackles, first career game with double-digit tackles. Real quick on Schlesinger, he's been every bit you could expect, and then some.
That's why I said we should rate them. But I got to tell you guys, they're all roses to me. They're all hits. You know, these first 4 or 5 picks, I don't know how you differentiate. Schlesinger had a huge impact on defense, but so did the running back. Steve just sent us an interesting question in the chat, and I don't know what the answer. When was the last time
it happens more
a
often than
team
you
had,
think.
now it's only 3 games, but had their first 4 picks have this kind of impact? I don't know. Now, there were a lot of holes on this team, so they were going to get their opportunity.
We got to see how the
It
season
happens
goes.
more often than you think.
A+ for Schlesinger, right? A+ for
A+.
Schlesinger.
And by the way,
Graham.
I went back and took a look at Jim Shorts. He has a lot of clinic tapes that he literally runs and talks about his defense. And it's the perfect defense for young guys. I mean, they do have some calls that you got to make or whatever, and there is some gymnastics of being a guy that's calling the defense. But understand this. Jim Short's defense is, forget all the rest of that stuff. We coming after you. And we can come after you with 4. If you're going to be aggressive, just be aggressive. If you want to get blocked 2 yards in the backfield. So when you got a guy like Miles Garrett, that he is over there, that's a chess piece. Then you got Denzel Ward locking half the field away. So that's 2 halves already locked down. Then you got a guy like Grant Delpit who's running the alley that can tackle and doing some things that he's stepping up. All of a sudden, when you Mason Graham and you Schlesinger, all you got to do is worry about doing your job. You ain't got to worry about the rest of that stuff when that's all locked down. So the defensive scheme is there, and it reminds me of how Dick LeBeau used to be. No matter who was there for the Steelers, Dick LeBeau used to be there running that same fire zone scheme, blitzing people, all them linebackers, and every year the Steelers had something. I think Jim Schwartz had a down year last year, but he's showing you year in, year out, as long as I'm the coordinator, there's a certain level that we're going to get to.
Andre Schmidt, A+. What can you say?
Yeah, he's the other one. So
He gets it
Schmidt.
too.
A+.
Did you find the clip of Jay? I want that clip.
Oh, we do, Steve.
Yes. Play the whole
Play
thing,
the
though.
shot. It is 3:46, Steve. You got to pull up the shot.
Even his clips is long.
3:46.
My clip's going to be about 5 minutes. I started by saying this is a head and heart thing. I remember it. Play it.
Steve's pulling it in here. It's a 35-second clip.
Let's play it.
Steve's pulling it in. Give me 1
You
sec.
probably clipped the part where I said you
Is Steve pulling it in?
Steve is pulling in.
I think it's
3,
incoming.
4,
Steve,
6,
pull it
Steve.
in, Steve.
Yeah.
Pull it in,
Steve, reel it in.
And then wrap it up.
Land
too.
the plane.
3, 4, 6.
Don't wrap it up.
Speaking of which, I've got
Okay, we
I've
got
got
it. You
two
ready?
I've got two very funny plane stories that I'm going to share later in the week.
No.
That
Okay, this
happened on
was
my
from-
trip.
Oh, make sure it's Wednesday because I'm not here tomorrow.
All
I
right.
got to hear this.
This is-
You yelled at the whole plane, you said.
I did,
Wow.
This is week
and was
1.
thanked for it.
Oh.
The Monday show, week 1. The topic is, should the Browns cut Andre
Yes,
Schmidt and
let's
find a
hear it.
kicker?
Roll
This
it.
was Jay Crawford.
See if I remember this correctly.
He has to go. And I hate to say that because I watched the interview with the young man after the game. My heart bled for him. That's someone's child. He has parents. But this is big boy football. This is the NFL. It's not Arena League. It's not USFL. This is big boy football. And those are makeable kicks. He didn't miss those kicks because of an inability to kick a football 37 and 36 yards.
The
He
whole
missed those
answer.
kicks because the moments were too
I
big.
remember
for him.
saying
That is
And
the whole answer.
he told us who
it
he
He
was.
has to go.
that was my thesis statement. I don't know if you remember.
Here we go.
But later I said, this is one of those where my heart says one thing and my head says another thing.
No.
Now listen, keep that because here's the problem. And we celebrated the kicker one time before. As much as we sit here celebrating
back
him
to cut him.
today,
Oh, I said you're only as good as your last
remember
kick.
week 1 with
Yeah.
Cade York? We were like, oh my
Yeah.
God. I think that was
Yeah.
the longest kick in Browns history, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
in his first game to beat Baker, and I remember your
right.
ebbs and flows was like, the first thing he said when he made it was, Baker, you suck!
Yeah.
Look how fast Jay tore down the goalposts and moved
There
them
you
to the
go.
other.
No!
There you go.
All I'm saying is we thought we had it once, and we didn't.
Yeah.
No, I
And
know. I know.
I think, see if you guys agree with this. Kicking this year has been more erratic than any year I can remember.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Look at in a span of 3 minutes, look what happened yesterday in NFL games. 3.
Yeah.
The Bucks blocked a kick. The
Browns blocked the
Browns
kick.
blocked a kick. The Eagles blocked a kick.
Yeah.
All of those were makeable kicks. And I'm seeing guys that we used to say these are rubber stamp makes, and they're just missing.
Well, the
Butker
blocks, you
missed-
can't blame the kicker for the block.
Well, sometimes you can. The trajectory is not right. It's a block.
Yeah, but
Like, you
generally, if it's blocked, it's on the offensive
Yeah,
line.
but generally, if the kicker gets his foot in the right spot, the ball comes out like this, and the launch angle is unblockable.
Right,
So
but on
it's
a longer
combination
kick,
of things.
you have to get
Sure,
it
you do.
lower.
You have to
Yeah.
change that. But
Yeah.
I can't remember, and we would almost gotten to the point where we said, God, 50-yarders now. We're like, yeah, kick
Yeah.
it.
I don't know what the
But this
percentage
year, I wonder what the collective field
it up.
goal percentage is this year through 3 games. You know who's great at that is AI. And compare it to other years because guys are missing a lot of kicks.
Somebody said your goalpost is mounted on a U-Haul truck.
No, it's in the water.
Hey, Steve, you dirty for cutting that one. You dirty.
I know. I'm gonna go. I'll go listen to the whole soundbite later today.
You'll find the same answer.
Well, apparently my thesis was the same. He's got to go. Now, we may, as the NFL world goes, poor kickers, man. We may sit here next Sunday, and we may say the same damn thing. He's
Field
gotta
goal
go.
percentage
field goal.
as of right now is 83.3%.
Now,
His
I wonder.
No, the NFL field
average.
goal. The
Average. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
So
83. Last year was 84, so it's not. I don't. You know,
so it is a little. It's a percentage, not even
down
a
a
full
little.
percentage point.
23 it was 86, 22 it was 85, 21 it was 85. It's the lowest since 2019 as
Was
of
that
right
through
now.
2
but
weeks?
it's early.
Because I got that same number through 2 weeks.
No. I compared it to the full season.
No. You did it through 3.
No. For the full, I did through 3 for this year, but through the full
It's all we
season
have.
last year,
Yeah, it's all we have.
Anyway, Mike, we get into the Guardians.
That's exactly where we're going next, guys. Our Guardians topic today is brought to us by FanDuel. The NFL season's here. Baseball playoffs are getting ready to get started, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff or first pitch with the can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So if you're ready to play, make sure you download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Guys, the Guardians take on the Detroit Tigers tomorrow at home. Skubal on the mound for Detroit. It is a 1-game lead in the AL Central currently. The Guardians, if the season ended today, would be the 3rd and final wild card team in the AL. It has all come down to this. 1 game back, a 1-game lead, or technically they're tied with
They're
Houston.
tied. They have the tiebreaker, so
with
that's
the
why they'd be
tiebreaker.
in.
With
so
the
it's a 1-game
Astros.
lead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what you
This
could
is
ask for, guys.
unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Guys, the Reds are likely going to get in too.
Well, they got a chance. I don't know if
they
likely.
got a nice
but
chance. They got about like the Guardians.
I got to tell you, guys, this is the Guardians were 15 and a half games out of first place. Even a week ago,
That's crazy.
I didn't think there was any chance that they were going to win this division, and now they got a good shot. They got a good shot at making the playoffs. Now, it's far from a sure thing. Their 6 games are against Detroit and Texas, so it's not going to be easy. But neither of those teams is playing well. Detroit has completely imploded.
Yeah.
Detroit could possibly not make the playoffs.
Yes, it's very possible.
Definitely. The Guardians.
If they don't get their heads out of nowhere,
Yeah.
they will miss.
The Guardians, if they win 2 out of 3 against the Tigers, will be tied with the Tigers and have the tiebreaker. They are playing. Obviously, yesterday was disappointing because you've been on such a roll.
I know.
They'd won. What did they won? 11 in a row before yesterday.
Yeah,
10.
11
I thought it was
12.
10. I thought it was 10.
I
I don't know.
Anyway, the Guardians had won 10 in a row. They were up 2-0 early, and it kind of fell apart after that. But the Tigers lost again. The Red Sox lost again. The Astros lost again, and the Guardians control their own destiny.
Do we have the tiebreak right now, even on the Tigers, right? They would have to
Sweep. They would have to
Sweep us.
I don't know if the Tigers win 2 out of 3. I don't know what the tiebreaker is, but if the Tigers win 2 out of 3, the Guardians are probably not going to win the division anyway. Because
Well,
they'd
they
be
could if we sweep Texas and Detroit loses their
right,
last
but
3.
but I don't know what happens if they end up tied. Because if the Tigers win 2 out of 3, then I believe the season series would be split. What?
No, right now I think it's 6-4 Guardians.
Oh, that's right. The Tigers would have to win all 3.
So if we win 1,
Right,
then we own the tiebreaker, which
That's
is
true.
massive.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which would be
massive.
If the Guardians win this series with the Tigers, they're probably going to win the division.
I agree with
Which is, I mean,
That's crazy.
guys,
It's the biggest collapse ever. By the Tigers.
they're going to be one of the. If they make the playoffs, it may be the worst offensive team ever to make the playoffs.
It would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, their average is 225.
I mean, it's
think right
crazy.
now the lowest average.
It's not. I know some. Bo Naylor's played well here down
well,
the
he's
stretch.
been awesome the last 3 weeks.
But for the most part, outside of the guys who are having good seasons like Ramirez and
Kwan.
Kwan's had an okay season.
Yeah, for
but
him.
Manzardo is who I was thinking of. It's been. I mean, nobody else is contributing offensively, but the pitching has been so good, so excellent
Yeah,
across the board in the rotation. Everybody's pitching well. The bullpen, everybody's doing well. I kind of wish they had Shane Bieber, even though they don't really need him. I wish they had him at the moment. Certainly wish they had a couple more bats.
rotation,
but-
Bull?
What's that?
Could I interest you in a 7-man rotation with Shane Bieber?
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see. But this is crazy. I think they're going to make the
his
playoffs
ERA
now.
Bieber's been okay. I think his ERA is just under 4.
He had one bad start.
He did. He got hit around.
Yeah, but
pretty
his other
bad.
starts have
His
all
other
been
starts
excellent.
He's been pretty good. He's been
Bieber-like.
I'd still rather
I mean,
have.
for him to have an ERA at 4 is like it looks odd to me.
As good as the Guardians pitching has been, I'd take them over any of their players in this postseason.
Well, and because of the experience.
yeah, right, exactly. That's a big part of it. So
This would be, I mean, you already mentioned it, but it would literally be factually the biggest comeback in Major League Baseball history.
it's just
At
incredible.
15 and a half games.
Incredible.
And the thing is, like, we all go back to that 15 and a half games, but there was another stretch where the Tigers got it up to 11.
Again, yeah,
And
right.
we were like, and it was much later in the
because it was
season.
down to 7 or 6,
Yeah,
and then it built back up to 11
And
again.
at that point, it was another shovel of dirt on the coffin. But
Yeah.
at that point, you're thinking, because it's as late as it was in the season when it was 11 games,
Yeah.
now you're just thinking, okay, let's get the wild card. What's been amazing to me is they have done it for the most part without Ramirez, and Manzardo's had some big moments, but
Yeah.
they had a stretch of games, 4 out of 5, where when you looked at their offensive stars, it wasn't the regulars.
Right.
Bo Naylor had all the RBI in a
Bo was
4-3
awesome
win
this weekend.
over the White Sox. Bo
Yeah.
was great again this weekend.
Yeah, he's
Arias
been really
has had
good.
his moments.
Arias has
Arias,
been good.
yeah.
It's weird. Rocchio's been in a big slump here
Yeah.
recently after kind of figuring it out for a while. He is such a streaky player.
They've just gotten moments from guys here and there, just enough. They're getting just enough offense. A tremendous. I mean, this makes no sense, but it's so much fun.
game-
And I don't even want to listen, nothing changes to me with how poor a job they've done with the offense, but I don't want to talk about it right now. I only want to talk about the fact that this team is on a roll.
There'll be time
They
for
have
that.
a good chance to make
Yeah.
the playoffs. And even if it ends with a whimper in the postseason, as I know some people are worried about, and I get it, I'm one of those people. Let's see. I mean, they could end up getting a bye in the first round.
I need you on the record.
They could.
Are they beating the Tigers? Are they taking 2 or 3?
I'm saying the Guardians are going to win the division.
I am too.
Right now.
I-
And 2 weeks ago, I would have laughed at anybody who said it, and now 2 weeks later, I'm saying they win the
Jason
division.
ain't said nothing yet.
I don't want to kill the mojo, so I'll say yes. I'll say yes. They
Hey,
win.
man, I don't know.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
I want Jason Lloyd. I want Spicy Lloyd. It's okay to say they ain't gonna do it. What's holding you back?
Because
What's the operating purpose?
I've just seen Cleveland too many times to where they get right there, they're so hot, and then the last week it's like, oh man. But the Detroit's a mess right now. Their pitching's a mess. The bench is a mess. So I do think that they win the division.
You know what's I don't know if you're thinking about this too, but here's my apprehension to saying they're going to win the division, even though I think now they are. It's really difficult to have two things happen. Their mojo has to continue one more week, the Guardians.
Yeah.
It's really tough to get that mojo for 2 weeks. They've had it.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, the Tigers' bad mojo has to continue for another week because they have been an absolute shell of themselves really for the entire month of September.
Who are they playing? Who are the Tigers playing after the Guardians, Mike?
Twins?
Do you know?
I can tell you right now.
I looked and I can't
Second.
remember
Now,
that.
Texas
Tigers-
is not playing well now either. They've fallen apart.
They have. And then they're pretty much done.
Tigers finished the
So-
season at Boston.
Oh,
Beautiful for us.
and their bullpen's a mess. Their pitching in general behind Skubal.
Have you been following what their fan base
they're
wants?
losing
the
their
papers
minds.
is
Talk
going
about,
crazy.
oh my God.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either.
Yeah.
But
They've got a loaded farm system. They did hardly anything at the trade deadline, and they've got one more year.
Can you imagine if they don't
this year?
Skubal's got
Isn't
1
it
year of
funny?
control, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Last year, the Tigers were sellers at the deadline.
Yeah.
Everybody thought they were dead. They made this great run into the playoffs.
Yeah.
This year, they're the best team in the American League for almost the whole season. They might not even make the playoffs.
If they don't,
Because if the
I feel
if
sorry
the Guardians
for the
think
Detroit
about
front
this,
office.
if the Guardians win the series here, right?
Yeah.
And win the division, okay, now you're down to Houston, Detroit,
Well, they
and Boston.
played Boston, like if
right,
Boston-
that could be for the
Boston-
final wild card
And
spot.
would you want to go into Boston battling
No.
the Red Sox for a wild card
No.
spot at Fenway?
Absolutely not.
Man, this would just be an absolute
Oh
epic
my
collapse.
God.
Not just to not win the division.
Nasty
There
work.
was at one point I remember looking. They had a 100% chance to make the playoffs.
You know-
It wasn't 99.9. It said 100.
You know what this reminds me of, even though I wasn't alive for it? The 1969 Mets.
Yeah, the amazing Mets.
You know what the Mets did that year? They
won the World
won
Series.
the World Series.
Well, who was
right.
it?
The Cubs that blew the
No.
division. The Cubs had a huge lead.
That was back in the days of two divisions.
There was no.
two teams made the playoffs from each league.
What?
That was
right.
it.
I thought it was on our chat thread. The drunk Bill Nye guy picked the Guardians to win it. Wasn't that on our
Why,
thread?
yeah, why was he? Why
I
was
don't
people
know.
saying he was drunk?
Oh, you look,
Bill Nye, the science guy, man. He don't get drunk.
he looked
Bill.
Bill Nye picked the Guardians to win the World Series before this season.
That's insane.
Dude, I wanted to put some money on that. What,
I don't know.
Hey, McNuggets, how much money would you have gotten if you would have put money down
Oh,
when they were down 15?
God.
When they were
Oh,
down
down
15?
15? Oh.
When they was down
They
15.
they were probably 20,000 to 1 to win the division or
You
something.
guys,
no, it wouldn't have been that much.
When
at
they were up
15 and a
15
half-
games?
Not 20,000.
no, not 20,000, but they would have been in the thousands to one.
Yeah, maybe. All right, I'll have to find out.
I have something I call compensation, like consolation compensation is what I have some buddies that, well, whenever it looks like good things are going to happen for us, we'll bet against them. That way, if they lose, we get compensated. I have a friend who, when the Tigers had that huge lead, took a bet, a pretty big bet, on the Tigers not winning the division. And now I texted him last week and I said, it looks like your consolation compensation might be pretty healthy because it's, I think it was, I've got the text, I'll have to dig it out. It was incredible odds that they were, they were heavy favorites to win the division.
And the interesting thing, and ultimately the Guardian, probably their bad lineup will catch up with them in the postseason. But
Oh, it will.
baseball is completely wide open this year. There, to me, is especially in the American League. Who's the favorite? I know Seattle's playing great, But their starting rotation has
2
been
weeks ago,
spotty
they couldn't
this
get
year.
out of their own way.
I would take Seattle still. I picked them after the trade
I said after the
deadline.
deadline, I think
Toronto's got a
Seattle's
bad
got it.
bullpen.
Everybody has weaknesses. Unfortunately, ours is offense. However, when you look historically, you got to score, obviously, to win.
Yeah.
But great pitching, especially pitching depth like we have, can win you a series.
The only thing is I don't know that the Guardians have enough great pitching. You say great pitching. They have good pitching.
Well, by today's standards, the fact that they have 6 starters, like, who do you not feel comfortable rolling out there? I would have
In
said
the
maybe
postseason?
Logan
In the
Allen.
postseason?
Well,
Logan Allen.
I don't
for
really-
Yeah,
sure.
but I mean, Logan Allen went out there the other night, and
don't
Logan
care.
Allen's not starting in the postseason.
no,
chance.
probably wouldn't. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, if you're in a pennant race, you've got. It takes onions to put 6 different guys out there.
yeah, they're not-
And
they're
every
not
time they
doing
do it, I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. Whether it's Ciccone
Yeah, I
or,
just think. Listen, they're all pitching well right now. None of them have ever done anything in the postseason.
no. Well,
I mean, can you even count Tanner Bybee in the playoffs?
no.
I mean,
He's
Gap-
starting in playoff.
I mean, he's
for
yes,
sure.
he has
but,
to.
But do you trust he's about to come out here and lock
No,
this down?
no.
Like, it's like, nah.
I don't know how you can.
I don't trust any of them
No,
for
how
sure
can
in
you
the
say
playoffs.
Gavin Williams is going to lock a team down? in
I
the
trust him the
playoffs?
most of them all, but they might all go pitch well in the playoffs. But
like we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
but like I mean, last year we know that they just rode Gaddis, Cade Smith, and Clase until the wheels fell off.
and now it's just Cade Smith.
Now it's just Cade. I mean, Gaddis is
Gaddis
still
is.
there.
I feel pretty comfortable
Right.
with Gaddis.
But so now what's your formula? Because it has to be the pitching. So are you taking Ciccone and putting him in the bullpen and trying to get an inning out of him every single game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Use
it's going
him
to
as
be
a bridge.
it's going to be different than what it was last
Can
year.
a starting pitcher? What? Can they
Because-
do that?
Sure.
I mean, is health wise? Like, is he effective? Like,
Yeah,
just-
yeah, you
I
can do
think-
that. You'd like to have a runway into
think
it. You wouldn't like to
maybe
just flip a
Messick's
switch
pitching
and do
out
it
of the pen.
in
I think
playoffs.
Messick's out of the pen. I think your starters,
I think Ciccone's going to be the third starter.
Gavin, Tanner.
Ciccone,
I guess
and
Ciccone.
Cantillo.
I think Cantillo might go to the bullpen. He's got the experience.
Has
He's got
Logan
the
Allen
experience.
wouldn't be good as a reliever.
Logan Allen's
Some of
not
the
a
stuff.
starter. I don't think.
No. But
I don't think.
If they're going to use a fourth starter, it's got to either be Messick or Cantillo probably in the playoffs.
I think aren't they moving Messick up a day to get the last start against Detroit? I feel like he's out of
I think
rotation.
they moved everybody up. I don't know.
Who got skipped?
I don't know.
Because
Well,
it
no, they
feels like-
they moved everybody up last week.
They
to
did it
set
last
this
week,
up.
yeah, so Bobby could get in.
Look at that.
But we got 2 great
Yeah,
pitchers.
but Messick, they're out of the 6-man rotation now.
Yeah.
I
So is
like
Cantillo out
our
of it?
chances there. I mean, Flaherty's decent, but he's beatable.
I really like Cantillo long term. I just think because he's got the bullpen experience, I think he would go back to the bullpen.
Man,
Cantillo's at it. That changeup of his is
he
plus,
is such
plus.
a student of the game, and he is.
I've always
Every
been
time they
bullish
sent
on
him down,
I
he's
love him.
learned and gotten better.
Yes.
I'm bullish on. I
Yes.
told Meisel I really like Cantillo.
But Bull, to your point earlier, at some point, man, Hosey's got to be Hosey.
Right.
He's
Especially
the
at
vertebrae
playoffs.
of
You know
this
what?
team, and the
We
fact
didn't-
that they're doing it without a ton of power production from him,
Yeah.
has been remarkable to me.
I got to say, we didn't. However this ends up, we did not expect to have meaningful September baseball. I know
No,
I didn't
at all.
expect it.
No.
And
So
it's going
this
to go
is
down
fun
to the last
watch.
day, no
For
matter
those
what
who are
happens.
interested in such things, let me promote for a minute. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., the Ultimate Cleveland Guardian Show. Tomorrow after the game, I'll be doing a live podcast reacting in the bullpen
Oh,
podcast.
postgame, huh?
I'm doing a post-game show
Nice.
after Guardians Tigers tomorrow. I will do another post-game show after Guardians Tigers
How do
Wednesday.
those do? Do those do numbers or not?
They did for the playoffs last year.
Yeah. Boy, I hope we sell. We're not going to sell them out. We better have better crowds than we had last. Our last homestand, we had 15,000.
Well, I can't blame people. The team's been bad for most of the year,
But
but
they were in it then.
I
They
would
were
think,
in it.
but now they're really in it.
I mean, they were in it then.
They show up. When,
The crowds
when
will be.
they're in
I
it.
think the crowds will be good.
Well, the crowds will be there for the
crowds will be
playoffs,
there
but
for-
it feels
for
like
the
the Braves
series.
in the 90s. They got to the point where they're like, yeah, wake me up in the LCS. Wake
Well,
me
I
up in
don't-
the World Series.
This team's not anywhere near what that Braves
no,
Giants
but the
team.
fatigue, the fan fatigue reminds me of that.
But I think we'll see. I think the 6 games this week, especially these 3 with the
I'd
Tigers.
say 20,000 every night.
Yeah.
They'll be.
See,
They'll be
that's,
I like
that's
20,000.
even better than
embarrassing.
that.
The Colorado Rockies put 40,000 butts in seats every night, and they lose 100 games.
No, they're still doing that.
Check where the Rockies are in attendance.
I don't know.
Look them up.
Go ahead, Mike.
What's
Or I'll
the
look it up.
capacity at Jacobs Field now? It's not that
35.
high.
it's 35, but 20,000?
I'd say 20 and 25. That's a good crowd for
No, it's
September.
not. It's a horrible
Colorado
crowd.
is way higher in attendance than I thought they'd be.
Oh, listen, that Denver's a baseball town.
That must be tickets sold, though.
No,
Because you-
Bull, they show up.
You also have
Those
to,
fans
I
show
don't
up
know
for
why
games.
they would
It's
show up
insane.
for games.
You know why? Because they've mastered the art of making a ball game a night out. Like, and I give
that
Cleveland
team's the
credit.
worst team
Cleveland's
in
done-
baseball.
I
I
know,
don't-
but
yeah.
the fans show up.
the season ticket base is what usually drives your attendance figures. You're not going to have walk-up crowds of 20,000 usually, especially in the fall on school nights. And
Well,
I get it. Like
Consider where we are. These are playoff games.
I'm-
All right, well,
with
let's
you.
see where they are before we criticize people
Yeah.
for not going. Let's see.
But
I'll say
my hope
20
is,
to 25.
My fear is we'll be in the 20,000 range.
I'd say 20 to
My
25.
expectation is you're in a pennant race, and
I
for
hope
all
they
intents
sell
and
out.
purposes, these are playoff games against your geographic rival, against
Yeah.
the team that you have to beat to make it to the playoffs. You better look at these as playoff games. Getting playoff tickets might be hard. If you want to go see fun, exciting,
Yeah.
meaningful baseball in fall crisp weather, this is your chance.
I hope they sell out all three.
Again, join me
love
live
that.
after the game Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be in the Bullpen Podcast and Ultimate Cleveland Guardian shows Tuesday morning and Friday morning at 8 a.m. with Zach
Over
Meisel.
under 65,000 for the 3 games for the Tigers on attendance.
I'm going over.
Over. I'll take the over.
Better be over.
People show up.
I'm taking the over because I'm an optimist, but
I'll take the over on that.
Real quick, and I mean real quick,
Three
because we
worst
have
days
a
of the week
record
to
number
do
of
it.
super chats today. So we're going to get to those in 1 sec. But 3 games against the Tigers. How many of the Guardians win? Around the horn real quick.
2.
2.
2.
Yep.
2.
3-game sweep, baby.
There we go. Love
Well, if
the
they do, they're in the
enthusiasm, Bull.
playoffs, and that Rangers series likely, won't even mean anything.
No, they wouldn't clinch with a 3-game sweep.
They'd have all they have to do is beat Texas 1 game, and they'd win the division.
Yes.
So their magic number to win the division is 4.
Yep.
All right, guys, it is time for Super Chat. Super Chats today are brought to us by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call actually pays off. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 off in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, if you guys don't see Bull here, it's because Bull has to dip and get to a doctor's appointment, so we are doing a 3-person Super Chat segment today. Let's get into them, guys. We got a bunch. The first comes from Set Apart Laz, who says, Isaiah Bond could be good, but we'll never know. Dragon the Abandoner says, Isaiah Bond was open all day. James Mace Jr. says, if we can get this offense going, this team can still make the playoffs. Miss Bell 70 says, if you guys see Flacco, put him on a t-shirt, please. Honest Review says, respect to Tyvis. He told us Malik Collins was good. Dragon the Abandoner said, Andrew Berry is a 38-year-old general manager who just had an all-time NFL draft. Brad Schrack said, it's Zappy time. Zappy equals playoff run.
He paid money to say
Hey, that Kool-Aid, boy.
That's strong.
That's strong.
Brando says, I love the show. The youth movement is looking good. Morning After 808 says, LeBron always said he would retire instead of disrespecting the game. Old man Joe, it's time to pass the rock to Dylan Gabriel. James Mace Jr. says, the Cleveland Browns have a bright future ahead of them. Neil Gray says, this defense is great. The offense is atrocious. Winning games like this is not sustainable. It's like stopping a stab wound with Vaseline. Where are the touchdowns?
But we only won 1 game like that. It's not games. And yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
You won't win another game like that all
No,
year.
no.
Where you have 10 points on 12 yards of offense. It's not going to happen.
Brad Schrack says, my old USAF buddy and Packers shareholder announced on social media that Green Bay out-browned the Browns on Sunday.
They did. They did.
14
Dragon
penalties.
the Abandoner says, a quarterback who can run for 5 yards right now would be huge for this offense. Set Apart Laz says, Judkins is a stud. He will open up the offense. Dragon the Abandoner says, guys, this defensive line is great, and we still haven't seen Mike Hall Jr. on it yet. How good of a line do you think it could be when he returns?
It's true.
G, you want to answer that real quick? How much of a difference can Mike Hall Jr. make?
Well, I mean, he can make just throw another guy in the rotation. Like, you got another quick, twitchy guy who's fast, who can get upfield, and has that. Jim Schwartz finally got what he wanted, right? When he go back and when he had Nick Fairley and Dominican Sue, and how them dudes was just monsters, just getting upfield. He got another guy, Mike Hall Jr., to add to the rotation. And now, instead of, right now, you got 2 full line changes. You can do a whole 4 for 4 when you get Mike Hall Jr. back.
James Mace Jr. says, is Miles Garrett the best defensive end in the last 20 years?
He might end up being the best ever.
I was going to say that. I think we'll wait till the rest of, but I think sometimes we get fatigued because we see him a lot, but Miles Garrett might be like the best defensive end like ever.
Could be.
It's kind of crazy to me. I thought I'd never say that, but I mean,
by some metrics, he's already in that conversation.
In terms of skill set and what he can do, and just physically, I mean, if he could put together 6 more years, the longevity piece. Bruce Smith played a very long time. Strahan played a lot of years. Reggie White played a bunch of years. He has to put together some more years, but if he keep at this pace, he got a good chance.
Neil Gray says, Flacco is not a game changer or a game manager at his age. The offensive numbers tell the true story. This win is fool's gold if we don't address the issues and quarterback issues. No TD. Davey Davis says, I still believe kickers should sign a $1 million contract bonus for every game-winning kick. How often does it happen? Does it ever become a reality for the kicker? Do kickers have bonuses attached to their contracts, Jason? Do you know?
I think the good ones did.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Pro Bowl,
right.
Things like that.
Right.
Mike Rick Secker says, what are the chances the Browns can't draft their quarterback of the future because they and the Jags play themselves into lower picks?
Well, there's always the Saints.
They'd probably try and package them to trade up if that's the case. ADT Koch 179 says, great game, but Browns fans after were horrible. My Packers fan girlfriend was shoved and mocked. I'm very sad we can't win with class. It was an awful experience for her.
Well, that sucks to hear.
Terrible.
That sucks to hear, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Dragon the Abandoner says, Dylan is damn near 25. If he melts, he's trash. Miss Bell 70 says, draft a quarterback in 2026 to sit again. Are the rookies coming out in this winter for critique? Go back to Joe if Dylan is bad with Shador there. Really, no breath holding until the next win. Defensive line can't do it alone. Brody's bottom line says, breaking news, Gabriel and Sanders are better than any quarterbacks coming out next year. James Mace Jr. says, Jay, I love your takes, but that linebacker was 10 yards off.
I sent the clip to 2 people that I trust, and I'm gonna reserve my judgment until they look at it. Both of them are quarterbacks.
Perfect.
And I want them to see it.
Is one Tim Couch? Because I texted Tim too.
No, I didn't. No.
So we'll have 3.
Listen. I love Tim Couch, and please don't take this the wrong way. I was supposed to go to a concert with him Friday. He had to go watch his son play football though, which that's a valid excuse. The guys that I sent it to are guys that I trust implicitly on these things. The one thing that we don't have, I wish we did. I'm gonna check when I go upstairs because sometimes we shoot the game from the back end zone, meaning the end zone going. I know that's not the way you want to shoot football on a field. You want to shoot with the football coming at you. But occasionally we do shoot it from behind. That's going to be the angle. What did Joe see in that moment? Joe doesn't have aerial all 22s. What is Joe seeing from his perspective? And we may have that. I don't know. I'm going to ask our guy if he shot that one from behind. If he did, you can bet I'll be coming with some telestration video Wednesday.
We have the ability to do it, Jay. If you ever want to use a telestrator.
Well, I gotta find the clip. I don't know if we have it from that angle, but I'll check.
All right, next one. Which one did I just read? Brad Shack. Seriously, I think it's time for Gabriel. I think he will operate the offense better than Flacco. He's a chain mover, if nothing else.
I don't even know if he's a chain mover at this point.
We don't know what he is.
Okay, next. Acid Brooks says, if Watson didn't make that throw, Jay would have lost his mind.
No, I wouldn't have, actually.
Brody's bottom line says, nobody should be surprised Flacco was garbage last year in Indy. Danny Dimes is 3-0 with that same offense.
You know,
that was another weird game yesterday. He didn't do much. It was kind of like the Carolina win. Neither quarterback threw for, I think, 150 yards, but Jonathan Taylor went off yesterday. Man, he looked good.
Yeah, he was killing it yesterday.
But
as good as he's ever been.
Danny Dimes, he's 3-0. You never apologize for 3-0, but
Never. The Hot Saucer says, do you think the narrative on who to play at quarterback would be different if the kick was good in week 1 and the Browns were 2-1
yeah.
instead of 1-2?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Davey Davis says,
But we're
Dylan
not.
is not getting any younger. It's time to play him. Vernell Jackson says, can you really judge the receivers with this terrible quarterback play? Enough is enough. Play the rookies already. It's over, Joe.
That's a good question, but I think it was it Ross Tucker that came on and said that the wide receivers had no separation, none. And if you've watched the All-22, you can see it. It's just not
The
there.
Baltimore game? He's referenced to the Baltimore game, right?
He did.
Yeah, no, I was there.
There was just no separation.
They dropped 7 in coverage. There was nobody open in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So now what are you going to do?
Lose.
Take that
That's
L.
exactly what we
Jacob
did.
TA says the Packers defense gave up 13 to the Lions and 18 to Washington.
Yeah.
Q says Moneyman Judkins, FanDuel had him plus 550 for an anytime touchdown. Davey Davis says anything inside the 5 needs a run play, always.
Yes.
Q says, so glad you all have forgotten his name correctly. Didn't hear Judkins. Ohio, go. Miss Bell 70 says, why find a
Remember Trey
QB?
Jenkins?
Yeah.
Why find a QB hype when you have not seen Gabriel and Sanders yet? Such a waste of players shouldn't be allowed. Them not being ready is the Stefanski issue, not on them. Vernell says, what quarterback in 26 is better than our 2 rookies?
How many plays did
I haven't even seen the rookies.
how many plays did Gabriel get in that drive against Baltimore? I mean, it was.
It was like 4 plays.
He looked prepared. I mean, God, you can't judge him.
You can't take
you can't
anything
say he
off.
was unprepared.
You can't take anything off.
But,
It. But he looked fine. Yeah,
he looked,
it was
he
fine.
looked good. And I know that it was garbage time and everything else. He probably had backups. I at that point I disconnected.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had backups.
It was all
in.
backups
But
on the field.
I want to see these guys against team, also in games that matter. Like we talked about the defense maintaining this level. At some point, you know this, G, the dam breaks.
Yeah.
It can only take so much pressure. If you go out there week after week after week and you shut down these Pro Bowl caliber quarterbacks and you're losing close games, at some point you throw your hands in the air. It's human nature. They're not going to do that 17 weeks.
Or somebody get where
Someone
they're
gets hurt or whatever.
Yeah,
So
it's just-
I want to see these quarterbacks in games that count.
All right, got a bunch more still. Dragon the Abandoner is laughing when the old clip of That's Someone's Child from Jay. Kirk Davis, which era
If
of
you're a parent,
Cavaliers
you know what that
basketball
means.
was the most exciting
Imagine
to
someone
watch,
saying that about your
Jason?
kid, Jay.
What era of Cavs basketball was the most exciting to watch?
Most exciting era of Cavs basketball to watch?
Yeah, real quick.
Championship era.
Yeah.
Kirk Davis, Yankees got a World Series in their blood. James Mace Jr. says when the Browns win, it's always a good week. James also says it looks like it's going to be a long week for Detroit sports. Go Browns and Guardians. Mike R. says the fact this team was able to do this turnaround without 2 teammates in Ortiz and Clase shows how good of a manager Vogt is. Don Kenobi Music says if the guards make the playoffs, Manzardo cannot play first base. Also, G. Bush, my $100 bet pays out $2,100 when the guards were 10 games out on July 23rd.
2,100?
They were 10 games out, so it was even more than that at some point.
It would have been
Yeah.
substantial.
And
That's
last
wild.
one, Dragon the Abandoner says, random question, is CJ Stroud actually not good? He's not looked good this year. That
You know
whole
what?
Texans
He's looking an
offense has
awful
been
lot
bad.
like Trevor Lawrence to me right now. And by that I mean he's looked great and he's looked not so great.
I still really like him.
I'd take him.
I'd buy CJ Stroud
yeah,
stock.
I would too.
I'd still buy the
You know
stock.
what we're finding? It's really hard to do this year in and year
Yeah.
out. Really hard.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Travis Kelce and Andy Reid looked like they wanted to throw hands.
Oh, that happens often.
Well, it's the
Between
second
those
time
two.
I've seen it. It happened once in a Super Bowl, but like doing this year in and year out, when there's that tape on you and teams are scheming to stop exactly what it is you do,
Yeah.
It's a tough game.
I didn't think I'd see the Chiefs offense struggle like this. I thought with Patrick Mahomes, rubber stamp them every year. They're going to score 25, 30 a game.
I mean, how often does that work though? Like a lot of teams don't.
No.
I mean, it's
Even when the Patriots were in their run, they won some of those with defense.
I agree. They look very pedestrian. I still ain't betting against them.
Oh yeah.
No, well, listen, that's a different conversation. I'm not either.
Like
I'm not
September.
either.
It's September.
Just go to the Philly game. Philly right now is the measuring stick in the NFL. They should have beat Philly. Yeah. If Kelsey turns around on that ball in the end zone, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
So they're right there with the team that's considered to be the measuring stick. So.
All right, we're headed to overtime. We're going to talk about some of the other games from around the NFL in Week 1 in 3 minutes.